Hi, welcome to Loton Park. We're here today for the final round of the British Hill Climb Championship. This is Saturday practice. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to have a stroll around the paddock, have a chat with some people, drivers, marshals, catering staff, you name it. We're going to have a chat with them. So, my trusty cameraman John and my producer Eleanor, we're going to have a stroll round. Let's go. Alright then. Let's have a stroll around then. It will head over. Oh, there's some people trying to avoid me already. You can see them walking behind.
We've got another one up there. Yeah, just so we know, you and me will be working tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
How do you reckon? Stroll over past the BMTR, they're always hard at work. It's like a hive of activity. Oh, here we go. He's a great competitor, Mr. Richard Summers. He's a veteran in the hill climbing community.
Oh, the sun is shining.
Do you want to say that? Yeah. So, what are you driving today, Mr. Summers?
I'm driving the DJ Firehawk with my wife.
Is it fantastic?
It's fantastic. It's quite stressful, but it's quite fantastic. Yes.
And what size engine do you run in the Hawk?
Oh, 1100cc. Yeah, well, it's not. It's 1077, but don't tell anyone.
Oh, okay. So, definitely under 1100 though, isn't it? Yeah. So have you got on so far in practice?
Well, apparently I've been quite awesome, but I don't know. It just went rather well. Yeah. So yes, it's talk to my son. He'll tell you whether I'm any good or not.
Well,
you probably will do later.
Yeah, I will definitely. Yeah. Having a good day otherwise?
Oh yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, the sun is shining and it's not raining. So what more do you want?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Cool.
Be good.
Thank you, Richard. Oh yeah. Also, if you have any questions for any drivers, if you want to ask them anything in particular, put them in the comments below and we'll read them out. So, it looks very quiet here. The problem is, because we told everybody we were going to go on camera, as soon as they see us heading towards them, they all go and hide, and as you can see, it's very barren. Should we head over to the Mod Pod paddock, see if we can pick anybody up? If we creep up on them very quietly, we might be able to speak to Steve Darley and Damien Bradley with the incredible legacy. There's Joy Hoyle just having a quick nap, collecting her thoughts.
Hang on, I've got a bit of picture in my pocket. We didn't blow up the electric. No, we didn't like to do that. My friends everywhere.
How you doing? Is this a great time to have a chat?
Brilliant.
It's currently live streaming, yeah. So we just thought, see what's gone on this morning.
We had a gasket failure at Mallory Park last week.
When you were doing the quick 60, yeah.
And when the gasket failed, a bit of the gasket went up into the turbocharger and took out the exhaust wheel.
Ooh.
But AET to the rescue again, and they saved the day and sent us down a lovely new turbo, and we're I'm a bit too far away. So it's just been, she's just really tired. 3 years of the same engine, same setup, and it's just been given so much abuse by Stephen Darley.
Who's driven it to the Masters as well.
Yeah, that's it. So,
cheers, guys.
International racing driver, Stephen Darley.
So, no, it's I think it just really needs a real refresh, and spend a bit of time on it on the off season and get everything brilliant now for next year, ready for another attack at the Masters.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So you'll be back out for the next practice?
Yeah, we will do. That's the plan anyway. So we'll see how we go. Stephen needs as much practice as he can get. So yeah, we'll get him back out. See if he can improve a little bit. Might run a bit more boost through it.
Absolutely.
See how she goes. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks for the chat, guys. See you in a bit. Here we go. I think if we go and have I think Ash is just really wanting it. You can see there he's absolutely loving an idea of a chat with us. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah. We'll go back this way.
Yes, I've sneakily put it into the sun.
Oh, you just
I'm only
just warming the tyres?
Well, not really. No, just warming the Paddock down here.
Okay.
That was all it was. No other reason.
So how long have you owned this, Ash?
About 20 years. Maybe more. Maybe 25. It's the longest I've ever owned a car.
Oh, wow. But it's never always been in this setup, though, has it?
No, it started as a road car. And I only paid £250 for it.
Wow.
But it had been wrapped around a lamppost in Worcester. And the fireman had to crowbar it off the lamppost.
Wow.
And I bought it as a box of bits.
Well, that's quite a transformation, then, really. So when did you run it as it is in the current spec now? How many seasons have you been doing it?
Running in the slick spec about 3 or 4 years. We dabbled with the single seaters, enjoyably, successfully, expensively. This was just as much fun.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, and I was doing a lot with Steve Day, and we thought we would come back to these, put them on slicks, and come and enjoy it. Probably matched our spend profile a little bit better.
Yeah.
And still enjoy it. The car's very quick. We're knocking on. I did a 50.08 up here in it.
That's pushing on.
That probably would qualify part way up through 1600 single seaters.
Yeah.
So it is good, but it deserves a younger, quicker, better driver.
Everybody says that.
That's my excuse too.
How are you doing in the class today?
Yeah, we're okay. Tom's just slightly ahead, but it's still practice.
Yeah.
And we just had a tyre change because I ran some older tyres this morning. But the boys are still quick. Yeah. They're still very competitive. It's a good class.
Yeah. How many's in the class?
6 today.
Yeah.
Last year there was 13. But I think we'd moved the times on quite a lot. And some of the boys jumped back to road going.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
It did make sense, yes. Yeah. Because of the times. We were 28 seconds up Shelsley.
Which is very fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 120 over the finish line. So we're indecently quick for what's a bed frame. What's a car which is 40 years out of development.
Yeah, with no really aero on it.
No aero.
Yeah.
Reverse aero, I think.
Yeah, I think
it likes to float about a little bit.
Do you even run a diffuser on these, or is
There is a rear diffuser. I'm not convinced it does a lot. We put it on for our sanity, thinking it does something.
It looks good as well, though.
It looks good. It keeps the fuel tank clean. They do work if you get a front splitter on.
Yeah.
But then you're adding weight on something which is still shaped like a brick.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to quantify any improvement in times with any aero devices on, even though we're only allowed them below wheel centre line. I can't say it's been conclusive.
Would you be allowed to fit like a full front wing bend to it if you had it below the wheel centre?
No obvious aero. If you look at the plan of the vehicle, it mustn't change.
Oh, okay. So as it left the factory.
So it has to be within the plan, the view from above, which really then restricts you to underfloor, flat flooring, and anything which just slightly protrudes from the floor, but still within the periphery of the vehicle looking from above.
Okay.
So the chances are small, possibly worthwhile.
Yeah.
Or not have the weight.
Yeah, that's probably as with most hill climb cars, it's better to try and save weight from somewhere, isn't it? And
it does. It makes you wonder where at some venues where there are no high-speed corners, how quick some of these cars would be with reduced aero.
Yeah, less drag.
Less drag. They're lightweight cars. Less drag, less aero. Maybe Prescott's everywhere apart from the first corner. They don't really benefit from any aero.
Yeah. So you're better on the weight saving.
So it would be an interesting exercise.
Yeah, something to try.
Yes. Oh yes. Well, we've got to have ideas.
Might make Orchard a bit sketchy though, wouldn't it? If you're trying to go through there at 100 miles an hour with zero down.
Well, it amazes me, and Trev's always up there as well, isn't he? Around through there. But it makes the sport interesting because of the things you can do.
Yeah.
And we don't want prescribed or restricted classes.
No,
well, I
that's
certainly
yeah.
don't. I don't think many competitors do.
Absolutely, I think that's what hill climbing's about. You can make, very unique cars, and you can make anything really, can't you? I must say.
Well, we grew up looking at Nick Mann's
It's incredible,
various
isn't it?
vehicles,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
we? The Shelsley Specials. Oh, weren't they fantastic?
Yeah, the Morris Minor with the V8 in it, and his current, the BT with the special. That's just an incredible piece of kit with a helicopter, starter motor turbine that spins up the anti-lag.
Yeah,
amazing.
it's good. I like it. It encourages us, and then it's encouraged what Wallace and Trevor and Alex are doing, pushing the boundaries and trying different things. The sport's good.
So you're going to continue for many years to come.
No, I'm on the verge now.
Oh, yeah.
I've been retired for a few years. To do justice, you really need to keep spending on the car. I'm finding that a little bit more difficult to justify. And it's probably fair to say we've had the good years. Maybe now it's time to just step back a little bit. Ease off a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe just do some local rounds rather than doing a full season.
I think so, yes. Yeah. The start of the season, is cold and hard work. Come out slightly later. The venues that we like. Unfortunately, I like all the venues.
That's the thing, isn't it?
So that's the problem there. I can't quite work a way around that. The 2-dayers are hard work at times. A single dayer might be better. I enjoyed the Prescott single day event.
Or maybe do the two 1-days effectively, so you get 2 1-days over a weekend, get the most amount.
But I'm liable to change my mind.
Are you free to do that?
I'm afraid, yeah. There's a contract in the marriage certificate. I'm likely to change my mind.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great speaking to you, Ash.
Okay, good, thank you.
We'll catch you, see you later over the weekend.
All right, okay, cheers.
Ooh, let's have a look what we got. Okay, right then, let's have a look. I did quickly spot Roger Moran. There he is. I think, Hi, Rog. Have you got 2 minutes for a quick chat about the current car you're driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure Roger needs no introduction. Former British hill climb champion.
Really?
But yeah,
That was a long time ago.
it was not too long that it isn't. It isn't worth noting. You've driven quite a few cars in your time, though, haven't you, Rog?
Yeah, I have.
But do you want to talk us around this lovely Skoda and how you acquired it?
Yeah, this is a Skoda R5 car that I bought to do some rallying with. Actually bought it from Bulgaria. And the win rate has gone down somewhat now since I bought it, because it was quite a successful car. Well, it was a very successful car. I absolutely love, probably the best car I've ever had, to be honest with you.
Really? Is that good?
Yeah, build quality is just fantastic. Yeah. So, 1600 turbocharged engine, and it runs on a 34mm restrictor, so it gives about 300 brake horsepower.
But loads of torque.
Loads of torque, yeah.
And how does it feel on the hills compared to, do you have to drive it sideways like a rally car, or is it?
Well, it's a very neutral car, but I mean, you can push it as much as you want. It'll still move on the road.
Yeah.
Because it's only on 8-inch wide rims, so the wheels and tyres aren't particularly wide. It would stand wider tyres actually, but but it is what it is. So we'll just leave it as it is. It seems very good.
Yeah. Are you just running it on the Avon hill climb super soft side?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So chuffed to bits with it.
Fantastic. Are you going to compete this for a few years to come then?
I'll keep the car for a bit yet. I've got another one at home that's got a 2-litre engine in, which is more heavily modified than this. But at present, there isn't a class for the car in hill climbing.
Yeah, because it ends up in Sports Libre, does it?
Yeah, it ends up in Sports Libre, which is a bit of a bone of contention, but that's the rules are the rules, I suppose. But I think there are a few rules that could do with changing. Really.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's definitely a class for like these kind of like saloon levers, as you might say, class. silhouette cars almost, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But this is very much based on the road car, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an homologated car, you know, and that's the idea of it. It's
so it's still got the chassis is still the original one. It's not like tubed or anything like that. It's
no, it's still got a you know, a proper. It's based on a Skoda Fabia. It's still got steel doors, steel bonnet, steel boot. Obviously, the wheel arches are different. They're fiberglass or they're some sort of Kevlar material.
It's minimal aero, just the rear spoiler
Just
and
the
that
rear
sort of,
spoiler, yeah. So it's just a very, very good car.
Cool.
End of story, really.
Brilliant. Cheers, Rog. Thanks for the chat.
No
Speak to you in a bit.
Okay, yeah, bye.
Right, then we've got some comments that have come through, and we're going to try and find Eleanor, my lovely producer, is going to show me. Who should we go and see? So Nigel Elliott's asked Tim Painter in the Aston to see why he got an NTR. So NTR, when he's no time recorded, so that could mean various things. It could just mean a timing issue where the time didn't get recorded, and in practice you wouldn't get a rerun. They just let you go again. If you had got an NTR on an actual event run, you would get your timed run again. But we'll go and see if we can find him. And we can't. This is the Aston Martin in question. Definitely.
They don't know our price trick for tomorrow yet. Well, we don't want to tell them all our tricks, do we?
Hi, Tim. Just have a quick chat about the Aston. Yeah. So Nigel Elliott asked, he said, you got an NTR this morning, just wanted to know if there was any issues, or was it just a timing problem?
On the last run?
Yeah.
No, the chap didn't line me up properly. And when the light went green, the clock started to run.
Oh, okay.
But they couldn't kid me, because when I got up then I thought, no way was I 10 seconds slower than what I thought I was going to do.
You had a 64 foot of about 10 seconds, did you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we sorted that out, you know. Hopefully, I'll watch it next time.
Yeah, okay.
I'll probably sit on the line, and as soon as it goes green, I go like hell, you know, I won't give it a chance, you know.
Yeah, as soon as it goes, just fire it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, can you tell us a bit about the car? How you acquired it? Did you?
We built this one up. I built it up. It took about 3 years. We've been running it. This is the third year we've been running it. The first couple of years were during the COVID years, so we didn't do so many meetings, but we've done quite a lot of meetings this year. I spent 3 years building up the car, and this was a Pro Drive chassis. It was involved in an accident. There wasn't a lot of damage, but I acquired it and built it up. Compiled all the parts. It's got a 4.3 Aston engine, V8 engine, as opposed to the 4.7. The previous Aston we had, the Pro Drive car, the 4.7. Now, at the moment, I'm on a 4.7 built up. For it, you know, I've got the engine and it's been stripped down and checked over and built up. So we'll put that on and be interesting just to see if it is this 4.3 is about the same sort of times we do as the 4.7 previously.
Oh, okay.
But this is a lighter car, so hopefully when I put 4.7 in, we'll go a bit quicker.
Will you get a lot more brake horsepower and torque from that?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is it what kind of increase? Like 100 brake horsepower or?
Well, the 4.7 is rated at standard is about 420, 430 brake horse. Hopefully, when it's built, and if we polish the ports and everything, and look at it, and get the engine builder to do a good job on it, we might get about 450 brake horse out of it. Oh. Good solid 450 brake horse, and it should sort of show up in the times. You know?
So, what was part of the GT4 spec when it was? Was that built for the race series? series.
GT. GT Racing Series, British Series, GT4 and GT3. The GT3 cars were slightly more powerful. Aston ProDrive still do them. I'm pretty sure they still manufacture, but the later model now. This is what they call I call it the Series 1, and the later cars, obviously the ones with a different grille and everything, and they've got the 4-litre Mercedes twin turbo V8 engine in.
Oh, okay. At the AMGs, is that?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And that certainly goes well. It's a different gearbox and everything. So, different car they run now, sort of thing. But I expect Aston to move on again now. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see what they do, which way they go.
So you're going to continue to run this for many seasons to come, or are you going to change, go for something else?
We've had a few gearbox issues, some of which I brought on myself by sort of trying to probably make it two things that it's not capable of doing, But we're working on it. If I can get over the gearbox issues, we'll have another go next year. At the moment, we're just on purely a stick shift. It's a sequential. It's just purely a stick shift backwards and forwards. But we're using the clutch at the moment. We've had a few issues and a few problems. And every time we think we got there, then another little thing gremlin creeps in. So
you fix one thing and something else breaks.
That's right. Yeah. But that's part of motorsport, isn't it? I think that's why we keep coming back and doing it.
We're just going to lower the Subaru down behind us.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you very much for the chat.
All right.
Cool. Have a good run later. All right, then. Have we anything new through? No? Okay. This is it's got very deserted in here again. As soon as you wander around with the camera, everybody tends to run away. That's How you doing? You're right for a quick chat, are you?
Yeah, as long as you get my good side.
Yeah, absolutely. Whereabouts is your car at the moment?
Just over there.
Let's
93.
Let's go and have a look at it. Yeah. So how's the day gone so far?
Interesting. It's only my second ever event in the car. Second time I've ever driven it. And
So is this an OMS Hornet?
yes.
Is this the Weaver's X Hornet? Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, Phil? You right?
And to be fair, they've done a fantastic job in restoring it.
Yeah.
It's got everything on it that you need. And as soon as we saw it, it was right. We're buying that. It's where you'd want to start, I think.
So do you want to give us a quick talk around it? So I say this is a tubed 1100 car, is it?
So this has currently got a 998cc K8 GSX-R 1000 engine, which I'm told should be around 180 something horsepower. As far as I know, it's standard. It's got SBD electronics and dash and MBE dash and things. Paddle shift with flat shift. To be fair, I don't really know a lot more about it. I'm sort of learning every event, really, but
going from that kind of road-going class,
yes.
You used to drive an MX-5.
Yeah, I used MX-5, and then I went to the modified specialist production with the Westfield, and then I've driven Dad's Malik a couple of times, but this is totally different again, and it's just, they're so nimble, these little cars, it's unbelievable.
You just point it at an apex and it goes there.
Yeah, well, you think about doing it and it's done it. It's unbelievable. I'm trying to I'm tuning my head to the speed of the car at the moment.
Yeah. Is it a massive step up from any kind of bodied car to a single-seater open wheel?
Yeah, this is 302 kilos, and it's power-to-weight ratio of over 600 horsepower per tonne. So it's, in terms of acceleration, it's quicker than anything you'll see on the road.
Yeah. So I say it'd be equivalent of, like you say, driving maybe a 600 brake horsepower road car, or possibly even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the acceleration is just as fast.
Yeah,
Just,
probably I'd hazard 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, something like that.
What you doing 64 feet in?
Just over 2.
Just over 2-1, 2-2.
Yeah, something like that. 2-1, 2-2.
Fantastic. So you're gonna compete this for a few years to come then?
Hopefully, yeah, that's the plan. So I'm going to finish this season. I'm going to do the Midland certainly next year in this, and eventually, hopefully, things like the British or whatever. Should I get the hang of the car and maybe progress or what have you? But
so you're just doing the Midland at the moment?
Just the Midland at the moment, yes.
But you maybe look to the BHC Cup and go travel
definitely.
farther afield.
Yeah, I'd love to do that because there are some hills I haven't yet been to, and it'd be brilliant to go and have a play.
Yeah. Do you like Loton then as a track?
I do, because I find it's got the challenging parts of like Prescott and Shelsley combined. So you've got the fast bits, you've got slow technical bits, and it's just, although it's only probably 10 seconds a run different, but to say somewhere like Prescott, it feels like there's so much more to it because there's so much going on. It's just a fantastic place.
Yeah. Cool.
Probably not my strongest hill, but we can always change that.
Yeah.
So.
Fantastic.
Attention paddock.
There we go.
Right.
The drivers of batch 7, please make their way to the start line. That is the drivers of batch 7, please make your way to the start line.
So if you're watching this on the live stream and you're in batch 7, I'd head down towards the line. Cool. Thank you very much for the chat, Ben. That's brilliant. No.
Have a nice day.
You too. I'm being pointed.
You just make horse
How you doing, Scott? Not too bad. So you've probably one of the competitors that's come the furthest, haven't you?
No, I'm not competing.
Just Leslie?
No.
You've just driven down here for a jolly? Oh, I thought you so. Oh, in that case then. So, Scott usually drive a
Car.
Yeah. Give us a bit more info on that.
Renault 903 with a bike engine.
Yep. 1100?
1100 class. One there, basically.
Cool.
Yep.
So you just thought you'd come down for just a look around?
Yeah. That's what we do occasionally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how far?
Thankfully the weather's been nice here.
Yeah, obviously we can tell you're from Scotland, but how far away? And
it's about 4.5 for us here.
Just a casual drive down. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
So looking out for anything specific the weekend? Just going to watch everybody?
Just watching.
Just watching.
Relaxing. That's it. Great.
You seem super relaxed, I have to say.
I'll have a cat to look after, so it's great.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for the chat.
No worries.
We'll see you in a bit.
Welcome. Bye.
We'll go and have a look, see if we can find anybody in the road going classes over here. Hi, Izzy, how you doing? We just thought we'd come and have a chat over into the road going classes. So, how are you finding Loton Park in the Clio?
It's brilliant fun. There's an awful lot to learn.
Yeah.
It's only my second time I've ever been here. So.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
And last time it was very wet.
Yeah.
So a bit better today.
So, how long have you been competing in the Clio?
Just this year.
Okay,
so
cool.
quite often I drove that one over there.
Oh yeah, the Evo.
That's what I started in.
Yeah.
And then thought this year I'll do the Midlands and learn the hills really.
Awesome. So, are you going to do like a full season next year again, or?
Yep, hoping to. Haven't actually decided what in yet.
Oh, okay. So it might be the Evo, might be the Clio.
Might be the Clio.
Awesome. Will you dual drive that with Stephen then, or?
He's got several more at home.
Oh,
so.
just pick whatever you like, So how did you get into hill climbing?
Through Stephen actually.
So, yeah.
Met him through work and
okay.
sort of introduced me to it. And was
so how many years have you been doing it now?
About 4 years now.
Oh, okay, cool.
But obviously during COVID it
down a bit. So. Cool. So liking Loton Park though?
Love it.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Cool.
Loads to learn about it, so yeah.
Fantastic.
Can't wait to come back. It's sad it's the last one really.
Yeah, I know the end of the season's just come around so quickly, hasn't it? Cool.
It's always next year.
Yeah. Thanks for the chat. I'll see you in a bit. Right, and let's see if we can find somebody. Dave Warner. There's a good guy to have a chat to. Looking nonchalantly into the distance. All right, Dave.
Hey, Richard.
How you doing?
All right, thanks, you.
You all right for a chat?
Yeah, carry on.
So, I'm going to say to you, how did you get into hill climbing? Because that's a great starting point for you, really.
Well,
isn't
it is actually. 2013, we went to Chelsea Park for our first hill climb.
Yep.
And in the back of the programme, it said, there's a hill climb school. And I thought, that'd be quite cool to do that.
Yeah.
So, went and did it. 18 months later, I found myself in an MX-5 in the B Licence Championship. I got absolutely hooked at the school. It was brilliant. Best way to get into it.
Yeah.
And that's me starting really late. I think I was, 51 at the time? So, yeah.
You're never too old.
No, a bit of a late starter, but yeah, it's great.
So how long did you run the MX-5 for?
I had the MX-5 for 3 seasons. So I won the B Licence Championship twice, moved up to the A's.
Yeah.
Found out it was nowhere near fast enough, so sold it on and bought the Clio. So yeah, been running that ever since.
So how do you find the Clio?
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, I could have spent a lot of money developing the MX-5 engines wise and what have you.
Yeah.
But to be honest, what I would have spent on that, I bought the car.
Yeah.
And it had an instant 40-50 horsepower more. So it made all the difference.
Yeah.
Transition from rear wheel drive to front wheel drive took a little bit more getting used to. What would lift off oversteer and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's just such a solid car to learn to to run front wheel drives in. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the best car out there.
So are you going to continue with this?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
so,
Yeah, absolutely. Not much in planning in the way of development. Some new tyres because these ones are pretty much worn out by now. But yeah, maybe a little bit of work on weight and things. But apart from that, I'm more than happy with the car. Yeah.
And you're considering doing a full British Cup round next year?
Yeah, probably going to move to British Championship next year rather than trying to do the Midland as well because we've got ambitions to do Doon. We've already done Harewood, which I thought was fantastic.
Yep.
Wiscombe, Gerston, and what have you. So yeah, do a lot more further afield with events. So really looking forward to it.
And you're currently dual driving this today with James Kerr, aren't you?
James Kerr, yes.
But I think he saw us coming and literally ran in the other direction.
James is always late for a run. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
By now. But in fairness, I've run 3 events with him now. I've run Harewood, where he's an instructor, run Prescott, and then doing it here as well. And you learn so much from people who are really fast like yourself.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's true, because you guys have been doing it and you're running seconds faster than I am in this. So anything you can pick up, I learned so much from James at Harewood, and even at Prescott, you're picking things up. So yeah, it's really good.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, thanks very much for the chat, and have a good look on the next practice one. See you in a bit. Right then, we're just going. The big single seaters are going out now. So, sorry?
Archie wants you to find his parents.
Oh, does he? Where are the Coopers? Can you see them? I've been pointed to dramatically by John that they're over there. So let's go have a look. Well, Scott Moran. We'll catch up with him later on. So we'll have a chat with all the big guys later. You've got Dave Uren, Rich Spedding, Dave Warby, Darren Gumley, Zach Zammit. So,
I'm getting a lewd comment about that.
Archie asked us to come and find you to say you'd have a chat, yeah. So
Where is he?
Well, I don't know. He didn't specify. He's so hang on. I've been told you can't hear down there.
Oh, right.
So yes, I don't know where did Archie tuning in from. He didn't say.
He's in Swindon as far as I know. Apparently,
he's watching the live stream. Yeah. They wanted to know how you were getting on. It seems to be.
Slowly as usual.
Oh, that's not true, surely.
C-, must try harder.
So you've been running fine, no issues other than that.
Your fault if that isn't happening.
You've got to touch wood. That's the thing. You're sitting on it. That's it. Yeah. So we've just been asking a lot of people how they got into hill climbing. So this isn't your first car, is it? No. So how you started off?
No, don't do that.
Olivia, got it. Yeah.
Olivia's quite camera shy.
Yeah.
so
She's hanging in the back.
I'm responsible.
Yeah. Olivia's responsible.
So how many years have you been competing now?
Since I was 19.
So what? Six years ago?
About
6 years.
Yeah, about 20 for me. And
25 years.
something like that. Yeah.
So how many cars have you had in that time?
2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th one, I think.
Fifth one. Have they all been single seaters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Always been
spoiled.
Always been like bike engines.
Always been bike engines. So Olivia was kindly sponsored by Mr. Corbin with the Jedi. So she had the first Jedi ever made.
Yeah.
And that had a little ding-digging engine in it, which was a bit of a pain in the arse to start, but, but good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started doing that.
Yeah, cool. And how long have you had the TA for now?
2018, I think.
And that's 1600.
That's 1600,
Yeah. 1585, something like special. Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Everybody always says that. I'm not really sure what the spec of my car is. Everyone knows. They just pretend they don't.
I don't. No idea.
Cool. So I say you the kind of all your whole family's invited really, like say Archie, your son, Alice as well. I think Alice is marshalling this.
Alice is marshalling, yeah.
I think I briefly saw her earlier on.
Yeah.
And they're both driving as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they started racing this year, so
yeah. Cool. Keeping it all in the family.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for the chat, and Olivia hiding in the back of the trailer.
Cheers.
Escaped just at the right time.
Right then. Just all the guys in the big cars are just about to take their run, so I don't really want to interrupt them when they're prepping to get into them. I'll have a stroll up towards the saloon cars again. So I think usually we would interrupt guys when they're about to jump in their cars, but being as Alex has just nodded and said he wants a chat. Yeah. So, are you feeling super relaxed going into this weekend?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, ultimately, it's one of us has got to beat the other, and it's a championship isn't won and lost at the last round. It's won or lost sort of June, May, you know. So there's a lot of respect between us. There always has been, and ultimately, if he's quicker than me, then he gets the trophy, and that's as it should be. But it's fun. It's good. It's always fun, and you know, it won't just be me and Wallace. It'll be Trev, Matt, and Scott as well. So yeah, really looking forward to it. To be honest, well, I won't lie. I'm a bit nervous, but no more than really.
You're not showing it though. I think
Well, I can't run away, can I? That's in, but yeah, like I say, we're in a good space. The car felt good this morning. Wallace made mega quick, but then I knew that, so yeah, got to just try and put something together that they can't match.
Cool.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. So you've made a few tweaks to the car.
Yeah. So we've been playing with the front suspension quite a lot recently. So we've made a lot of gains at Wiscombe with an anti-roll bar change. We've gone back to as it was before now because we've always been reasonably competitive here. So there's no point trying to reinvent the wheel. The extra power, I haven't driven it here since we had the power increase, and it's a bit lively, like, but yeah, the odd tweak. I mean, we're always fiddling a little bit, but nothing major.
So it feels really stable, other than that.
Yeah. I mean, the DJ's always been a stable platform. You know, like I say, it's tiny tweaks to the icing. There's no fundamental sort of layer changes to the rest of the cake. We don't mess with the electronics anymore. We've got good launches, reasonably, you know, good power and everything like that. So it's just some hills, you know, you get faster corners at Chelsea, you want a certain thing, and some hills you have more stop start like you do here. So yeah, we'll find a good balance and try and give it hell.
Yeah. So you like Loton as a hill to drive then?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the first one I ever did. Well, no, I did Warrington first. One of the first I ever did. So you know, it's a lovely club. It's a really friendly organisation, and you know, we know all the marshals and everything. So yeah, I like being here. The hill's good. It's got a bit of everything, which is quite unique in that respect. Actually, really high speed section up into fallow, 135 mile an hour or so, and then you've got quite twisty sort of technical section at the bottom and then again at the top. So it's also nice to have a hill where you're flat chat over the finish line.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, you know, again 127 mile an hour over the finish or thereabouts, in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds from when we light the burner. So.
Cool. Well, you're about to go off now, so I'll let you get ready. Cheers, thanks for the chat. So, we'll have a catch up with Wallace and stuff in a minute, but they're all going to get into their cars, so we might just, should we just wander up to the start line. We can probably see a few cars off the line. Wallace very deep in concentration there. Gives it.
Yes.
So the start of Loton is very accessible. You can go all the way up to the start line and watch them go. How's your... Don't you want to chat? So here we go. This is Dave Uren in the Gould 55. Little bit of a tyre warm. Yeah. Most of these big V8 powered cars will do a 2 seconds or less 64 foot, which means you're pulling around a G of off the line, which is quite something. Incredibly quick. We've got Trevor coming up next. And Trevor has a very distinctive launch control map. So you'll hear it coming to life in a minute. There's a 6 times British Hill Climb Championship Scott Moran in the Gould 59, who's got a 4 litre Judd in the back. It is quite blistering to see. Sean Gould is the manufacturer of all the Gould vehicles that you see, the 37s, 55s, 51s and the 59s you see he's driving right now. This also got a 4 litre Judd in the back. Next up is Alex Summers, who we were just chatting to a minute ago. This is a DJ Firestorm, it's got a 2.65 XD Cosworth in the back. Revs to about 14,500 RPM, sounds incredible. Next up is Wallace Menzies, current reigning British Hill Climb champion. Also in a GR59 with a 4 litre Judd. Alex sets a 43.45 in practice. Wallace will be off to definitely try and beat that. So if my cameraman swings round to the clock. Not me, the clock. No, it doesn't rhyme. See what Wallace can do. He did a 42.77 earlier. See if he can improve on that. Oh, just a bit slower, but still mightily impressive nonetheless. Right then, let's have a quick stroll round.
Walk slower.
Sorry, apparently I walked too fast. So this is the GWR Predator that was originally built by Brian White Jr., which had a V10 out of Van Arrows fitted originally. It was later converted to a 2-litre Hart engine, which Jonathan Varley ran. Up until recently, he changed it to a 2-litre V8 now, which it sounds pretty amazing. 2 motorbike engines, essentially, putting on a common crank. Sounds fantastic, looks awesome too. This looks like a cheeky chap I'd like a chat with. For anybody that doesn't know, this is Dave Warburton, or Baby Warby to his mates.
Yeah.
Who drives the GR59, but with a 1600
scooter engine, yeah.
That's the one, yeah. Scott Moran refers them to. I think he's only jealous. So, how is the season going so far for yourselves?
So far, it's been great. It's been a really good season. You know, getting into the top 10 again. Hopefully, carrying through to number 9. Yeah. It's been a great experience to have Richard back in the class. You know, showing the way. But it's it's been fun. So that shows that we've got more improvement to do for next year.
Are you going on methanol next year? And
we'd love to. There's just a little bit of engineering to do with the engine to make it so we can change things like fuel injectors that go wrong when you start putting methanol into it. But yeah, we'll see if we can do that over the winter.
It's quite tricky with the 59 tub, isn't it? Because it's one piece.
Yeah, it is for the scooter engine versions. Because the engine has to come out the bottom and there's the small access panels to get to the top. It makes changing things, like if things go wrong over a weekend, very difficult, because a lot of things have to be an engine out job, and we can't do that here. So yeah, the most we can do to try and change that complication with the car, the better.
Cool. So how are you finding Loton?
I'm loving Loton. I love Loton again. I always do. It is one of my favourite tracks. Second practice run just then, and that was a PB for me with a 44.7.
Wow.
So really happy with that. But I've just got to do it again tomorrow when it counts. But hopefully I can. Hopefully it'll be all right.
It always looks amazing, especially through keepers for the S's that people don't know.
As soon as we're doing speeds where the aero's working, it's just a phenomenal piece of kit. It will just turn in, it'll grip, you can smash the throttle and it's absolutely fine. It's just when it starts, you need more of the mechanical grip. The car is a little bit weaker compared to some of its competitors, but here where there's a lot of downforce corners, it just sings.
Awesome. Cheers, Dave. Thanks for the chat.
All right,
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
There you go. We might be able to grab a quick chat with Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jack. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
You're just taking your run now?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Yeah, it was a bit better than the first one, so grip's there now, so just trying to get confidence in the car, really.
So how long have you been running the Dallara?
This is the second full year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
do you want to tell us a bit about the car and how it's been?
Yeah, it's basically it's a Dallara turbo, obviously, but DJ back end. So it's same back end as Alex's. So it's got all the tricky bits on it, sort of thing. So it's just a case of driving it, really. It's just having the confidence to drive it and get used to it, but we're not having any excursions, if you know what I mean. So it's it's coming together slowly.
I say it's quite because you drove an 1100 PB before,
yeah, 4-speed too.
Is it quite a massive difference?
Obviously the power's there and it's got a lot of grunt, but the gears are similar. which is a bit of a weird thing really. You wouldn't think it was, but it's similar gear, 6 gears, and you use 6 gears most of the time in the same places. So it's obviously just a bit bigger and longer, a bit heavier. But yeah, when you get going, at the end of the day, you're just focused to driving, aren't you? So it's not, doesn't feel any different really.
Cool. So,
yeah.
But enjoying it today?
Yeah.
You like Loton?
Yeah. First time here this year, so just trying to get back in the swing of it really. Cool. But yeah, we get there.
Fantastic. Cheers, chap.
Nice one. Cheers.
Let's see if we can. We'll try and have a chat with John Pick.
Quite a big op, so. Hello.
We can have a chat, John.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So, John drives a very specialist car. There's not many of these around, is there?
They built about 40, just over 40 of them.
Yeah.
Quite a few went New Zealand, some to America, Australia, but they're probably about 30 in the UK, something like that.
Yeah.
But the people just don't seem to get out there and use them.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the car and what it's based around?
Okay. So the whole idea is that it's based on the Subaru Impreza Turbo. So it takes all the running gear from the Impreza Turbo, literally everything, the wiring, the fuel tank, all the diffs and drivetrain, and that all bolts into the new chassis. So the chassis is glass fibre monocoque, so there's no metal in it. It's not like a space frame with bodywork on. It's just literally...
Lotus Elise almost. Yeah,
Lotus Elise, that's got an aluminium chassis, but it's more like the Lotus Elite, the original one from the 60s.
So it's just all fiberglass.
All fiberglass. So it makes it it's got big box sections to give it the stiffness, and in theory it's as stiff as a Lotus early Elise was as well. So it's quite an interesting sort of combination, which means curb weight. I know when they weighed it at the FIA events, it was 1080 kilos with a full tank of fuel. So it's probably about 1030, something like that.
Yeah.
So for all the hardware, it's about 300 kilos lighter than an Impreza.
Wow. And how much power does it produce?
This it's on the original type gearbox, so it's restricted really by the gearbox. So we're running about 325, something like that. Nothing too mad. Yeah. Enough to be interesting. Keep your attention. That's the main thing. Yeah.
And so because of the build numbers, it has to run in the specialist class. So even though it's a road car, because it's got a number of plates and you can drive this on the road.
Yeah. The regs for that they have to produce 25 of that type of car in 1 year, and they just by the skin of their teeth they made 26 in 2009. So they just crept into the category. They didn't make it was only 1 year. they didn't manage it any other years, but but it's a bit of a shame that more of them haven't come out. There's a guy, Jeff Thomas, who's got one down in Cornwall, and he comes out and about in it, and there was one in the Lake District. But a lot of them, like most of these cars, they just seem to sit in someone's garage, half built, etc., and just don't get used, which is a shame because it's a good way of having fun without spending too much money.
Do you drive it on the road at all outside of competition?
I've been to work a couple of times this week in it, and that's the beauty of a road car, is that you do something on it, and then you can take it down the road and see whether it's any good or not. But you still got to get an MOT. Getting an MOT is interesting because people go, "What the hell's that?" But I used to drive it more on the roads because I used to drive it to the events all the time because I didn't really have a trailer. But this year, because two drivers have been sharing it, the risks are a bit higher. We have broken the gearbox, broken the clutch, all this other thing. So it made sense to put it in a trailer and bring it. But I've driven to Doon in it, and that's the trouble with driving to Doon is you just sit there watching the fuel gauge going down, going, where do I have to fill up next? So probably not a good idea.
Then you have to put the extortionate amount of V-power in it just to get to the next one.
And you're just thinking this isn't sensible. Far better to put it in a trailer and chug up there.
Are you going to continue to compete in this for the next foreseeable future?
Next year. So we've got a few little ideas that we want to try for next season, but generally keep the mix. You can spend a fortune to try and go a lot quicker. We're never going to beat the Caterhams in the dry, but like this morning, we were 3 seconds up on them in the wet. and it wasn't even really wet. So we just have to pray for bad weather.
Benefits of driver skill and four-wheel drive, isn't it?
Yeah. But you think in this country we could have lots of bad weather. But for some reason, ever since I've entered this vehicle, we've had the sunniest hill climb seasons for years, But there we go.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the chat.
Okay, cheers.
All right, then. Hang on. Oh, is that Leslie Sheridan? It is. We've spoken to Scott, so you'll have to have a chat now, because I made a fatal error of saying, how are you getting on today? But you're not driving, are you? You've just come for a jolly.
No, we've been doing mostly Scottish events this year. Came down to see the season finale. But yeah, I've been having some good times just doing Doon. Did Doon last weekend, Kames next weekend, and we did a Harewood as well.
Oh wow. It's a bit norther, isn't it? Well, depends which way you are, south or north.
It's about an extra hour to come here, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, cool. So do you like driving at Loton though, usually?
I was just looking up results, man. I last did this in 2016.
Wow.
I love driving here, but it's a very difficult track to learn. I'm not particularly good at it. Has to be said.
It's very technical, isn't it? So you've got the first section of, very twisty, windy and off camber, and then you come up to up the straight, as it's called.
Yeah. But now that I've done some more hills this year, got the car sorted and got a few PBs up north, maybe I'll come back next year and see if I can do something with my times.
Yeah. Could come down. I think we've got two British events next year, so have to come along to those.
Sounds good. Maybe some clubbies too.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Thanks for the chat.
Nice to meet you.
Have we got any more questions? Have we got loads of questions? Oh, hang on. Right, let's go and give Uncle Les a cuddle. I'm not sure Les will be too happy about that. Apparently Dave Newell wants to know if he needs his Sunday papers bringing tomorrow. If we can find him, I'll ask him. Paul Hames would love an interview, apparently. I'm sure he would. I think I walked past him earlier and he just looked in the other direction. And say good luck to Jock Ramsey. So Jock's driving. There's one of two orange cars. This is not the orange car in question. They're looking for an Opel Manta, I believe. You're pointing furiously over there. That's it. Should we go and see if we can find him? Hang on, let's have a stroll. Actually, we might have a small digression. Speak to Sei and Ricky.
It's not.
It's not.
Afternoon.
Yeah, I got no teeth.
So this is Sei, who's driving the M2. Rick is driving the very quick as well four-wheel drive TT. So you come here quite regularly, don't you, Si?
Yes, yeah. So Loton Park member and doing the Loton Park Championship as well.
So I can safely say you love Loton Park then?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, especially when it's sunny.
Yeah. You've driven quite a few BMWs, haven't you, before?
Yes, we had the 1M before that we used to race. I also used to race my Focus RS as well. So yeah, my dad's kindly lets me drive his car, which is nice of him.
How do you find the M2? Is it
unbelievable? Yeah, it's can't fault it really. Fettled with it a little bit, but it's such a solid car. It's just the driver that needs to sort himself out, to be honest.
How are you doing in the class at the moment?
All right. As it stands, leading it. Yeah. But just trying to push a bit more each time. So
it's quite a mixture, isn't it, in the two-wheel drive road going class? Because you've got, I say, 911s, VX220s, a lot of Porsches, haven't you?
Yes,
so
it does seem to be the Porsche class, doesn't it?
Yeah, really.
Punching above my weight a little bit. I think it's.
But I say that this car's, you got a full leather interior, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just road going. Use it on a daily basis. So
literally a few stickers, some tow, and
decent tyres.
Drive it to and from events as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Getting it home.
Cool. So, are you going to continue driving this over the next couple of seasons?
I think so. Yeah, it's. I don't know how I could go much better, really. It's, you don't want to go like single seat or anything like that. You're quite happy with doing the road going or like tin tops. Finances, really. That'd be a big. I'd love to do that, but it's a big step.
Yeah.
But no, just enjoying the road car for now.
Yeah, I think when you speak to a lot of the road goers, they like the fact you can just drive it here, do your event, and drive home again. It's
a lot less hassle. But no, good fun.
Cool. Cheers. Thanks for the chat.
Cheers, mate. No problem.
We'll have a quick chat with Rick. Come on, mate. You got. It's great because this car is very impressive. I mean, how many horses has this got?
It runs about 500.
Yeah. It looks like more than that when you drive it.
That's probably down to the idiot that's driving it. So yeah, they do run them a lot higher horsepower, but the trouble with hill climbs is with the tight turns and the launching, the running gear won't take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already suffering with the clutch today. So yeah, 500 is about the maximum for hill climbing.
So what gearboxes does that run?
That's got the 7-speed DSG sequential box in it.
Cool. So do you change it on the paddles then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I take it that they're quite. You can't have a lot of lock on when you feed the powering with these, can you? You have to be a bit sensible.
You do, yeah. You have to. It's an acquired driving taste. But yes, you soon get used to it. The car will tell you what it can and can't do. So yeah, they've got a lot of grip.
Yeah.
That's what surprises me with the Audi, the amount of grip it's got. So and torque. I mean, 700 Newton meters of torque at very low revs.
Yeah, that's very impressive, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
How are you doing in the class at the moment?
Yeah, leading it.
Well,
yeah. So,
because like I say, just that there's a split, isn't there, between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive classes?
There is, yes. I've just set the cat amongst the pigeons by doing a ridiculous time up the hill. So
what did you get down to?
55.95. Wow. So that's probably they probably want me all to go home now. Yeah, go home. Yeah, you've done enough.
Cool. So that's very impressive indeed. So are you going to continue running this car for?
I'm considering going in the modified with it.
Yeah.
But until we can figure out how to make the running gear stronger, if I can figure that out, we'll go into the modified. If not, I'll stay in there going.
So with the modified class, you're allowed to change like gearboxes and diffs and stuff like that, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. It's drive shafts and prop shafts that we need to look at, which I can't do in the road going.
So you look at more better metals, maybe more flexible, or can you even look at carbon fibre then, can you?
Yeah. I mean, Audi with their motorsport division, they do pretty much anything you want for them. Well, it all depends how big your wallet is, I suppose. So you can buy anything for them. It's just a case of doing it, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Cheers. Thanks for the chat.
Cheers.
Speak to you in a bit.
Yeah, tell me next time. I'll put my teeth.
Right then, where we're going? That was it. We were heading over to Jock Ramsey in the Manta. Let's have a look. Hello again, Scott. Have you seen Jock around? Is he here? No. Somebody asking the questions, want to just have a having a chat with him. No, he's still not around. I tell you, he'd be a great person to speak to. He's Tom Weaver. How you doing, Tom?
All right, thank you.
So, Tom's quite the racing driver. Came second in last year's British Cup, and you're only beaten by Wallace, so I mean that's quite an achievement really. By 3 points, yeah. So you were beaten by a British Hill Climb Championship in a 55 by 3 points. And you were in a
Van Diemen Formula Ford. But I have sort of been outdone this year because with 2 rounds to go, the British Hill Climb Cup has now been won by another Formula Ford.
Yeah, Alex Coles, who we were trying to find, and he's avoiding us altogether.
He's run away. I've been outdone slightly there, but it's fine because I've still got the class record here. At least, hopefully, at the end of the weekend.
Well, what is that, by the way?
56.28. 56.28.
That is quite an impressive time. So, do you want to chat around this new car that you've just got for the?
Yeah. So that is the old car, the orange Hornet.
Which we chatted to Ben and Phil earlier about.
So we had that. It's been musical cars a bit. We bought an OMS 2000M this time last year. Which we got home after we bought it at a Shelsey meeting that we were spectating at. Got bored and bought a car. Bought it home and realised that I didn't fit in it. So that went. Bought that.
Was that just too short? Was it
too short? They do two wheelbases of the 2000M, which we didn't realise at the time because we spoke to people that had drove them and they said, "Oh, you'll be fine." They'd driven long wheelbase ones and that was a short wheelbase. So that went. We did the first half of the year in that, which was a great stepping stone, really. and then we had the opportunity to buy this. So we don't honestly know what state of tune the engine's in. It is in theory the same engine, but feels significantly pokier.
Yeah.
It has at some point been a 1070, which blew up. And no one really knows what went in it after the blow up. Yeah. So it could in theory be a 1070, but I wouldn't say that because saying it's 998 makes my driving look more impressive. We've gone on to Geartronics, which is a massive stepping stone, obviously, from the Hornet, which was on the OMS mechanical paddles.
Yep. So that's actually, you physically have to pull the paddle and it pulls the cable.
Yeah.
This is,
and obviously it's so that the cable's fixed, so you can't really change gear mid-corner.
Yeah.
And that would obviously unsettle the car as well, whereas you've got a lot more... It's like a PlayStation, really, with the Geartronics. It's just, I mean, the Hornet was like 2008, this is 2017. Just a lot newer design. Things have come on in 10 years, but it's brilliant. Yeah. It is absolutely brilliant. We're keeping this one. We've had enough of playing musical cars now.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like a great car to hear, and you're certainly driving it quickly. How are you doing in the class at the moment?
Yeah, we've gained Harry Pick from the originally entered in the 1600 class. So he's on a 47.9. Then there's lots of people on low 48s, and I'm on a 48.4, which was a PB. It's only the second time we've driven this here. We did the B meeting in July, which is the first time we'd ever driven the car. And now, obviously, this weekend. I was 0.2 quicker than anyone at the top of Cedar. and as you can see, there's some muck on both the offside tyres, which say things didn't go quite to plan at Fallow.
Just a little wide, maybe.
Yeah. Just fell off that little drop and thought I was going to need a new under tray, but luckily there were lots of unpleasant noises, but it seems to have survived.
Cool. So you're going to get another practice run this afternoon and try and improve on that again.
It's a bit of a shame we're not having a practice tomorrow. We've never driven Pirellis until we got this car, and that's one of the things we found is, having run the Hornet on Avons, they take a bit of work in the Pirellis to get them to come into life.
Yeah, it's not something we've touched on so far, but there's tyre war is probably not really the right word, is it?
No,
yeah, so
we've gone neutral ground. We've got Pirellis on the front and Avons on the rear for the simple reason that we have now totally run out of money, and this was all we could blag. So we've got a full set of Pirellis with 575 diameter rears.
Yep.
We're experimenting with 600 rears to give us a couple more mile an hour.
Yep.
Because that was a problem at Shelsley. I was going through both speed traps at 102, well on the limiter before S approach.
So what you've done, you've basically made the tyre wall taller to give you a better
So
time.
I was 108 through the speed trap at Cedar on that run.
Yep.
And just getting towards needing another gear. Well, so I don't have another gear. But just getting towards shift lights in 6th. Yeah. So we're about right now. Yeah.
Cool. So I say the Pirellis are generally better in the warm, and the Avons are better in the cold. So
ideally, you could afford to have a set of both. I think. When you get a really hot day, the Pirellis you can't beat them, but there's a lot more consistency, I'd say, with the Avons. Yeah. So hopefully save all our pennies over the winter, and we can afford to run a set of both.
Cool.
Next year, and that'll be interesting to see actually, because I know there's a lot of new Avon compounds come out in the last year or two.
Yeah.
So give them a fair comparison.
Back-to-back testing is probably the only way, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. Well, cheers for the chat, Tom.
No worries.
See you in a bit.
See ya.
Right then. We'll just have a... Jock has still not returned to his car, so we can't have a chat with him. Ella's looking wistfully into the distance, so we'll... is there any, you think...
Like Wallace or that?
Yeah, I think we're going to head next. We're just seeing there's no other questions that need answering.
No, and Alex isn't up at the...
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll have a stroll down back to the single seaters again. There's a very beautiful Alpha 4C over there. There's Dave looking pensively on with James driving his car. Oh, yes. So we're going to try and have a chat with Alex Coles, who's the British Cup winner. Alex, can we have a quick chat with you about your incredible driving this season? So, whereabouts is the Formula Ford at the moment?
Nowhere near here.
It's nowhere. Oh, is it all the way out there? Oh, well, we'll just interview you here then, next to it. The cars. So, how has it been this season in the Formula Ford?
It's been great, a great learning experience. Definitely didn't expect the outcome at the start of the season, but it's been a great, learning all the tracks in that, and just loved it.
How did you get into the hill climbing in the first place? Because you were a tender age of
17.
17, yes.
17, yeah. Well, Dad's always driven, and I've just been his helper my whole life, pushing him along. So I was pretty eager to get in a car, and I shared with Tom a few times before we had our car, and then we thought the Formula Ford was the best step to go. So we knew Caroline was looking for a drive as well. After Matthew went in the Gould, so we thought it was the best idea to get a car together.
Yeah. So you already won the British Hill Climb Cup. Wrapped it up with 2 rounds to go, did you?
Yeah, these last 2 to go.
Yeah.
Didn't think I would after. I thought it was all lost after Prescott because I had a wet run after everyone had a dry run. But yeah.
Cool. We've just been speaking to Tom, and his fingers crossed you're not going to break his class record here this weekend. But I suppose you've got other ideas about that.
Well, obviously it would be nice, but I think when we broke that, we were sort of pushing each other along, and I think that helps. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's coming out sunny now, but I don't know. We'll see.
So, what are your plans for next season?
Hopefully, share with Dad's be in the 1600 class.
What car's that?
OMS 28.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But, yeah.
So you could do a full British season in that?
Full British season, yeah.
Fantastic.
And see how that goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cheers for the chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good luck for the rest of the day. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, we could have a chat with Steve. So Steve Owen, who's built, I dread to think how many cars you've built in your time.
200?
Yeah, easily.
No, I have built 200.
Exactly.
I do know.
That's exactly the amount. So exactly 200 cars. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this all together?
About 30, 35 years.
Wow. And you start racing before you started manufacturing?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I done rallying and karting, and then we went hill climbing with a rally car. Then I bought a Terrapin. Then did the single-seater Terrapin, and then built my own bike engine version of a Terrapin and went from there.
Cool. So what's the current works car at the moment? Do you want to give us a talk around it?
Yeah, well, I guess this is the V8 car that we're using at the moment. So it's got the RPE, which is the radical V8 in it, which is 2 Hayabusa top ends on a common crankcase.
Yeah.
We've got the Sadev gearbox, which is the French gearbox, which is really nice, sequential 6-speed. And it's a 28 tub, which is the carbon tub, but it's specially moulded for the V8. It's not the same as the bike engine V8 tub, but all the suspension is generic, to that range of the 28. This weighs about 410 kilos, but the bike ones are typically a bit under 300.
Yeah.
So it's good. It just hasn't got the same power as Wallace's and Alex's, but it's great fun still, and it goes well. So
it's torquey as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's affordable. It's just more in people's budget, really. Bernie and Simon have got the same sort of car.
Yeah.
Paul's got one, but he's got a V6 Jaguar engine in it.
Yeah.
So it just means you can be in the class. We're not going to win, but we're not doing bad.
Yeah, it's good to be out, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
I think people just say, have a big car, you just put a smile on your face every time you drive it, doesn't it?
Oh, it's great to drive. I mean, it probably looks very slow compared to the others, but the sensation of it's just so great. You know, you never feel like it's going to stop because it has that much go. So it's great.
Definition of slow is very different, isn't it, when you compare?
I guess so. It felt fast that go. I wasn't as quick as Harry's in the 1100, but it felt quick to me. So it's good. It's good. It's great to be taking part. So,
awesome.
Sorry?
That's awesome.
Awesome. I thought you were going to ask me another question.
No. I was going to say, that's great, yeah. Thanks very much, Steve.
No problem.
Cheers. So, have a stroll down here. That's Dave Uren and Nicky Menzies is 55. This Trev is I don't think we'll interrupt Trev at the moment because he seems to be taking his preheater apart.
Really?
We'll have see if we can find anybody else. Here we go. We can stroll over. We can hit numerous people in one go over here. We could have a chat to
Nicola Menzies.
Have a chat with. There's literally no introduction. 6 times British Hill Climb Championship Scott Moran.
Thank you, Rich.
That's all right, mate. So you're driving GR59 at the moment.
Yeah.
How are you finding that from the difference from the 61 that you've won by your championship?
Yeah, it's good. It's taken a bit of sorting out, which we're getting on top of it now.
Yeah.
But the theory was it should just go around the sort of slower corners quicker than my old thing, but it's taken a long time to get there. But yeah, we're getting there. It's just the other two, a bit of a pain in my side for the last couple of years. But no, it's good. It's good to be in amongst it and giving them a bit of a hard time now and again. But yeah, it's good.
But you're going to, you're going to carry on competing in the 59, are you?
Yeah, another year next year lined up, and have a.
What's it like dual driving then? I know obviously you used to do it with your dad, but
it's
still.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm so used to it. I had quite a number of years with Dad sharing, and I know we've got I suppose the only downside is you've got to make sure you bring it back for the other driver. And that's, and that's especially in this case, it's great, and it's not my car, so it's even more important. So it's got to come back in one piece.
Yeah.
But then I think he feels that pressure for me.
Yeah.
Which is it's a bit weird, but which I don't think that helps his side because he's sort of thinking, oh crumbs, but I think he needs to have a bit of fun this weekend and try and, if he can, get that number 10. But that's his aim is really ultimately to get a number on the but yeah, it's been good.
So the difference is quite dramatic between the two cars. Have you? Engine power wise.
Yeah, the engine power. Yeah, that's different. As it's a bit like a switch. And the knick-knack was you've got to really buzz it to get it to work, get a time out of it. But this seems a bit more. Yeah, it's obviously more torque, so you can go up. Pull higher gears if you want to. But it does seem. Now we're getting to learn a bit. It does seem to want to rev as well. So to get the best out of it, you need to really get it going. But until we had the suspension sorted and the damping and the traction, everything else, it doesn't really work like that yet. But we're very, very close.
Cool. We had a brief chat earlier about the said tyre war between Avon and Pirelli. I mean, you've always stuck with Avon, haven't you?
Yeah, we've stuck with Avon. We know them, and they've supported the championship for so long. And I think Pirelli have obviously come along with a fantastic product. But it's just, my heart's set on the Avons, and I just want to stick with them if we can. Obviously it's been a bit. You think now and again, maybe we should, but I think it's young Mac's shown, hair with some of his performances has shown there's nothing wrong with the Avon at all. Yeah. So we're not far away. Yeah. He's 20 years younger than me, so.
Hey, he hasn't. Hasn't got the fear yet.
No. It'll come.
Cool.
No, it's good. It's good to have another young pair of heels. He's driving fantastically well considering his first season in a big car. He's going to be a problem next year. Yeah. So just looking forward to it.
Cool.
Already.
Thanks for the chat.
Have fun.
No worries.
Okay.
We will. I was going to try and find Matt, but is he? I think has Matt gone and hidden as well? Possibly. Let's have a. Yeah. I think we're going to try and find the Greenens now. Ah, I can see them. There they are. You both agreed to this earlier on, so So
squinting like an idiot.
This is always best because nobody really knows to get you in the right order. So it's Adam and Andy Greenen, or A Greenen. It makes it easy, doesn't it? It's their dad Chris as well. Give him a you're kind of like the the story of progression through the classes, aren't you, really? Because you started off in a road-going car in the Civic, which was pretty awesome, and then you think, let's just get a single-seater. So, I mean, how did you find that first step from like going from a road-going car to a single-seater?
Yeah, it was huge step up, like, you know. But we've done a lot of karting when we were younger, so it wasn't too like alien. It definitely felt more like jumping, back in a cart or something.
Just the aero, the aero and the like braking performance. You just had to learning that these cars can do the corner speeds they can do. It's not like driving a road car at all, really. It's very abstract. So.
It's kind of like the aero works at higher speed, so if you drive it faster, it goes faster. It's kind of like
there's an element of that. Yeah, so it does take you a while to get your head round, get confident.
So this is currently your second single-seater, isn't it?
That's right.
So this you originally had the Evo 2, was it, with the 1100 engine, and now you're in the 3 with the 1600 engine.
Yeah, that's right.
So do you want to give us a quick tour and tell us a bit about the car?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it. So, compared, the Evo 2 had a sort of a hybrid. So it was a minimal space frame with carbon honeycomb sort of panels interleaved, and so the Evo 3 now is the next evolution. So it's a full carbon tub. Most of the geometries look sort of more or less the same, actually. So in terms of familiarity in that way, it's similar to the Evo 2. We've got slightly lighter wishbones and things like that going on. Aero's more or less the same, slightly different rear cover, and the floor is a bit smaller as well now, which is a bit nicer. But front and rear wings are all the same. So from an aero side, it's fairly similar and familiar to the old
Is that
car.
just to reduce the drag a bit more?
Yeah. We thought it was, Bill thought it was a bit big, and didn't need to be so big, but still makes some good downforce. So it's quite an aggressive floor compared to some of the other cars. Quite deep Venturis at the back. And then engine-wise, it's a Mistral 1600, sort of the newer spec ones. They're slightly longer stroke than the 1585s that most people are running. There's a few of us now that are on 1599s, so they rev a bit higher. And it's
Do you notice quite a difference from the 1100 and 16?
It's pretty big, actually. Especially in those low speed areas.
Get a lot more torque.
When you're lower in the revs, it really picks up. And then just on the places like Gersten and even here on Cedar Straight, it just really, it's a real sledgehammer up your back compared to the last one. It's quite a difference, but more than I thought.
So, I mean, I know you had some slight handling issues at the beginning of the year, and even up at the Prescott, you had quite a few leery moments. Have you?
We've made some really positive steps this event, actually. So it's a bit of a shame it's the last one of the season, but we're feeling a bit more buoyant going into next year. With a few things we've been learning about it now. It's definitely been a learning development year. We've gone from real big highs to we were at Gersten and went under the record in the runoff, which was like amazing.
Really impressive, because I mean that's Josh Goodyear's record. He held by the Raptor, and that's a real strong record there.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of that is a testament to the engine, really. Just an absolute monster. But we cut our teeth at Gersten in the Honda, so we're pretty comfortable there. But no, we're starting to get it together, like Andy said it.
I think we're feeling good about next year, and it's like we're not going to be anywhere near like Dave and Richard at this event. We've still got some things to do over the winter, but next year I'm really confident we can make it work. So it's good.
So how are your times today in practice so far?
I did a 48.05, which is actually a PB, so better than my 1100 time. But we'd never really got a dry event here at. In the 1100, we're always kind of or just a bit
very early. Because my PB is still high 47. I did it in 2018, April 18, so it's my second season.
I think that was our last dry Loton, so it's either been
So it'd be nice to get into the 46s or something. Would be nice, but we'll see.
And I think it's going to be dry and sunny for the rest of the week.
Yeah, so it's nice to have some consistency there for us. Getting set up.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks very much for the chat.
Cheers.
Have a good third practice.
Right.
Right then, we're going to try and have a chat with Wallace. Maybe. How you doing, Wallace? Well, we left you alone earlier because it looked like you were going through some of the data from the practice runs. Is it something you always check literally every time you get out the car? Do you go through all the previous run?
Yeah. There's nowhere to hide. The laptop never lies, so we always come in and look at the data to see what we felt was what the car was doing, and the areas. There's always an area you want to improve in every time. So just finding out what the kind of best method forward for that is, and letting Russ look at it with the amount of data off the car, tying in the two so it feels like. It ends up feeling like we want it to, and not just making the numbers right. So it's always a kind of balance between what you're feeling and what the data says, and hopefully that ties in.
So we do any tweaks now before the next practice run? Or?
No, we'll do a run on just where we've been. We've changed it for the previous two, or changed it after both runs. I think we'll leave it at this. See how we get on with that.
So how are you feeling about the whole weekend? Are you
excited? Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's great for the sport. Cracking weekend. It's going to come down to the last run of the year. Potentially the last person out the hill for the championship year. So no, really good. Looking forward to it. It's been great competing with Alex all year, and tomorrow will just be more of the same. So yeah,
I think it's what spectators want to see, don't they? You know, they love to see, you know. I mean, for you and Alex, the nerves of going down to the literally, you could say it could be the very last run on the hill in that day that it could come down to, but it's what everybody wants to see, I think.
I think in any competition, you don't want it to be right to the end before you know what the result is. To be honest, I'm fine with it. It makes it's more fun. Kind of embrace it. You know, when it's 2 or 3 rounds to go and you're turning up and people have got numbers sorted. But yeah, it's good fun. Obviously, tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be a fairly high pressure day, but so's every Sunday when there's points on offer.
Are you going to be sticking with this car? I mean, there's various rumours that you might be like switching out to something else, or
I was walking up the hill this morning, 4 different rumours came up down to me and my 15-year-old eldest going to the 55 and Nicola Dave going into the 59, so I think that's a rumour at the minute. But no, I've got no plans to change anything for next year. We'll work on setup. I think there's still a lot, because it's an absolutely awesome car that Gould designed. I think there's still bits and pieces to come up and set up. In fact, there is. You know, the car will go way quicker than I can drive it, so it's trying to get me comfortable enough to extract what it can do. So no, I don't want to ruin the gossip and rumour that goes on for the next 7 months. So Craig and Nicola in the 55. I don't know what's happening to Dave. They're treble driving it or something, and we're changing engines. So no, nothing changing.
When I spoke to Scotty, he was saying there's quite a difference between the engines when you drove the 55 and then going into the 59 with the 4-litre chuck. Do you find a similar thing? Is it just like is it a massive difference in
the bit is I've changed that engine over the years, so I've had that engine since 2008, and I've taken it with me from the DJ to the Gould, so it's been as different guises, but we've played about the number of injectors and bore and cylinder size.
Because that's a 3.3 XD, isn't it, essentially? So it's a stroked, same engine that's in the back of Alex.
Same as Alex 265 by 3.3. So Alex is running, I think he's running 24 injectors, I don't know, and we're on 8. But just different kind of what works. We struggled with getting the extra injectors to work. Alex has done a great job and does it himself to get them all working. So I don't know whether we'll have a play at that. I doubt it, because the engine's had kind of 80 brake. There's another 80 brake to come out of it.
Wow,
but previously that was too much for the chassis. Don't think we'll do anything with that, because that's not where we're losing the time now. And it's great having more power, but it actually always makes the car harder to drive. It never gets easier with more power, and flat out power most of the time, be it traction or the car's moving, is in holding it back. So it's not always an advantage. As dare I say it, he's not here. William might tell us, but we'll find out next year.
800 brake horsepower, it's not enough, is it? Sometimes.
It's just it's a lot of it here on the different hills for a season of championship. It's about drivability. So. It's great to come over the finish lines and have that little, well, not little, 10th extra. It's a free 10th, but it's probably more hinder to you, especially somewhere like here where there's a lot of driving in the car. We've got a couple of quick bits, very quick bits, but it's not always an advantage to have more power.
It's more about tractability and handling, It's a very technical hill as well, isn't it, at Loton Park?
It's been able to use it all the way, and that's however much you've got.
Do you like Loton as a hill in general?
Yeah, I really enjoy Loton. I think it's a great place, great hill. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's a good challenge. And you got a little bit of space to play in. There's little bits of runoff that we don't have. We see a little bit. It's like 3 feet spare, and you can use it and do it. So Yeah.
Alex was saying it's always nice to have a nice run to the finish line as well, so you can really kind of get your foot in and feel like you've finished a hill.
Relax and look for the clock, but it's not really. You're still hanging on all the way up there as it's trying to kind of buck you off. But yeah, it's a cracking hill, and it's not Cedar Straight. The first time I came here, I walked it with Will, and he told me, and I was in the big engine. Told me it's flat all the way, and Scotty found out, and I was very quickly walked back up the hill to be told Cedar Straight's not a straight whatsoever, and if you go flat, it's not going to end well. Tommy can tell you that, actually. You maybe get Tommy later about how Cedar Straight isn't straight.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever called it. It might be called straight, but there's nothing straight about it.
No, but again, it's another part of the challenge is trying to carry as much speed through there. You're up speed. There's a lot of drag, there's a lot of air pushing it, so. By doing the throttle, it slows you down quick, and the data doesn't miss you for it.
Yeah, that's it. That data doesn't like.
And then Russ is there.
Yeah, you can see him in the back there. He's just like he's
helpfully point out that it was a bit rubbish.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for the chat, Wallace. Good luck with the next practice run, and I'm sure we'll have another chat over the weekend.
I'm sure we'll speak to you tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you. Right, we'll try. Tommy's avoiding. He wanted a chat. I can see he doesn't really like it, does he? Tommy's a great racing driver too. He wants to see. Right then, let's have a chat with my producer. We're all out of questions, are we? No, have we got anybody watching anymore? I mean, is it? Wow, that's incredible. Okay, maybe we can see if we can find anybody else. I'll tell you who we can speak to. Anna May Furness. Yeah, there you go. Your heart is lies. So this is Anna May Furness, and you you started hill climbing in the 106.
It was actually Proton back in 2017.
Oh wow, okay, I'll take it.
So we did I did the Proton, and then I was in the Saxo, and then I moved to the 106, and then we got the Radical via the Fisher.
Yeah.
So
is the Radical pretty amazing, isn't it? I think I chatted to you earlier.
Yeah, it's the first time that I've really felt the downforce and like the slicks as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I love it. I love how planted it feels.
Yeah, it's like a proper racing car, isn't it? When a lot of people say when they go from saloon cars to like an actual race car that's designed just to go fast.
Yeah, and this is really forgiving though, and it looks after you.
Yeah.
Like today, it's the first time we've brought it here to Loton.
Okay.
So we've started with a 61 this morning. So just done a 57, and we're about to go again for a third run. So we'll see.
So you're absolutely loving it then?
Yeah. It's brilliant.
How'd you find Loton Park as well? Is it?
So much more fun in the Radical.
Yeah.
In the 106, it's very twitchy. It doesn't know where it wants to let go. You really got to drive the 106, whereas the Radical just takes you around. It's great.
Cool. So you're going to be driving that for a few more seasons to come then?
Not sure. I'm not sure what the plan is. We'll see. Yeah.
So is Ollie, we're just waiting for Ollie to come back down, are we?
No, he's over there, so he's on a chock waiting for me.
Oh, is he? Oh, sorry, so I'm holding you up in that case. Okay.
I better go.
Thanks very much for the chat. All right, we'll catch Ollie in a bit as well. All right. Trying to see, we could try and chat to Rich Danby. We can. So Rich is the amazing talent behind how this is even happening. So before Rich, there was no live stream. Lemon Summers. So Rich, tell us how you progressed from a static camera that was a wide-angled at Loton here to the multi-camera moving operation that we are now.
Yeah, the first stream I did here was 2015, which, as you say, was one camera at Triangle. It's just been a steady growth from there. It took a few years until I really got going with it. Got more support from clubs. To now, we've got, I think it's 14 cameras on the hill for the live stream tomorrow, which will be live at 8:45 for the whole day.
Fantastic, and it takes a lot of work, doesn't it, to connect all the cameras together, because you have to basically do a whole production office, which would generally, on any kind of sporting event, would be done by many, many people, but it's essentially you and Eleanor.
Yeah, it's the limiting factor at the moment is how many people are involved, what we can get done. So the cameras up the hill are linked together on wireless links that we have to put in. So like yesterday was a 10-hour day doing the setup for it. Today's gone well, so hopefully all set for tomorrow.
And you basically have to write all your own code to like the way the timing works, so you can put it onto the actual stream itself, so you can instantly see what the time is on the screen, which is not the easiest thing in the world to connect together, is it?
No, it's web development's my work. So all the timing graphics are actually a web page. So I developed those over the years, and it's very custom for hill climbing, but I'm really pleased with how they work, and I think it's about 5 years since I did the run-off graphics, and I'm still struggling to find a way to do anything better with them.
Yeah, no, I think it works really well. It's very easy to see, nice and visual.
Thank you.
So what are the plans going forward into the future? What are we going to be looking at?
Stay behind the camera is my first plan. I really want to do live onboards. Yeah. I've got a few plans for doing it, but at the moment, sort of COVID component shortages are making it difficult. More stuff like this I'd like to do. I'd really like to have a paddock reporter at most meetings who can sort of like catch up with drivers, find out why they failed, that sort of thing. Make it into a bit more of a production rather than just static cameras up a hill.
Yeah.
But that needs more people involved, and
I mean, I hope people are liking this kind of like nice view around the paddock, strolling around, chatting to people. I think it kind of adds to it, doesn't it?
I hope so, and thank you both for
that's all right.
sorting it out, and I will now disappear.
Cheers, Rich. Thanks for the chat. Okay. Eleanor's disappeared altogether now. I don't know. Can anybody see her? We could try and have a. Oh, it does it. Where is Sarah? There we go. Head towards Sarah. Your car's blocked in. You can't go anywhere. How you doing? Not too bad. So you've driven lots of cars, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're currently in a Formula Ford?
Yep.
Is it your favourite?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I love them all the same.
They're not children.
No. No, I like the Elise, but I do enjoy this. This is fun. It's a real laugh. Yeah. You can really get a sense of good feeling, and it's a good class as well.
So have you still got the Elise?
Yep.
Are you going to keep it forever?
Oh, I don't know about that. I might have to sell it at some point. But no, for the moment I want to, and I want to, if I can, try and bring it back out next year if I can.
Cool.
But I am enjoying this.
How long have you been competing now altogether?
About 20 years. I know you're really young, don't I?
You do.
Yes.
Easily in your 20s. Easily.
I'm going to kill you.
So, are you going to, say, you possibly bring the Lotus out next year? Are you going to drive it dually with this, or are you going to?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lindsay's wanting to do more in this as well next year, so I think we'll probably dual drive more together. Yeah. Obviously, because it's a really big class, I still want to keep in it because it's a big class and it's fun. So yeah, I might do odd event in the Elise, like maybe at Harewood, just to give it a run out, but probably mainly in this, and hopefully Lindsay will do a bit more with us.
So I mean, you're also an instructor at Harewood, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. Do you love doing that?
I do. Yeah, it's great. I love being a passenger with people I've never been in a car with before. No, it's great.
So I mean, incredibly, there's 3 instructors from Harewood here today. There's yourself, Peter, Herbert, and James. I keep trying to find James. There he is. He literally does that, runs away.
There's Richard Spedding as well.
Oh, it's Richard Spedding. So there's 4 of them.
Yeah, wow, Richard Spedding. So you need to grab hold of Richard Spedding.
I've tried to get hold of Rich, but he was messing around with the car and didn't look like he didn't want to chat.
And I know James really does want to talk to you.
I know, definitely James.
I know. Yeah, I've seen that.
I'll just run up behind him and tap him on the shoulder. I'll have to obviously look up quite high.
Yeah, go and grab him.
Let's go and do it now.
Where is he?
Oh no, I thought he was down there. He's not.
No, go grab him.
Oh no, there he is in that Clio as we speak. Or was that Dave in that?
Well, just stick the mic in the window.
Yeah, I think that might be Dave. Let me have a go and have a chat.
Go grab him.
Okay, good.
Right, I'll see you soon. Have a good day.
Thank you. Oh, dear me. Yeah. Sam Lester, who's not here today, broke her ankle doing exactly that. Let's see who else we've got loitering around. I'll tell you what, it'd be a good chat with the BMTR guys. Yeah. Do you want to talk about, the chief sponsors of the British Hill Climb Championship?
I'd like to talk to me about that, Rich.
Yeah.
Talk about what we were talking about. Are you sure? It's not taboo at all.
So, how long has Avon been sponsoring the British Hill Climb Championship now?
It's a good question. I know that I've been doing hill climb tyres for over 35 years.
Yeah.
As far as the championship, I think it's got to be between the British and the Midland. It's got to be 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know, something like that. It's a good distance. And long to continue.
Yeah. Just still enjoy coming to all the meetings as well, because
enjoy it.
Yeah.
You can say it.
Sometimes it looks very wary when you get like absolutely piles and piles of tyres and you've got to change them.
It's business, of course, but it's a great place to be. We enjoy it, and to be honest, it sounds cliche, doesn't it? But look around you, look where we are, and it's quite a nice place to call your office.
Yeah.
The product stands up. It does what it needs to do. The odd murmur now and again, but generally it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we briefly talked about the tyre war with like Pirelli and Avon, I think, but I think it's very split in the paddock about who uses what, aren't they? I don't think it's the favourable one or the other. Are you bringing out some new compounds as well for next year?
We're pretty much set now with what we've got after the last couple of years of developing and trying new things. Some have worked, some haven't. On the whole, I think the Avon stands up really well to the Pirelli, and it's been really interesting having to have. We used to have it all our own way. So the competition side of it's actually been really good for us. So it's interesting times it's been, but at the same time, it sort of sharpens your focus. It's bringing on the fight, isn't it? We're happy. We're all good. Still here.
Fantastic. Right. Carry on sponsoring for the foreseeable future then.
Certainly, the BMTR as a company will continue sponsoring the Midland for sure, and I think the agreement's pretty much there with Avon as far as I'm understanding. So. Yeah, that's the hope, but we'll see. So it's not long till April again, is it?
Yeah, I know. It'll be around quick. Winter always feels long, but it does go around quick.
It really does.
Yeah. So perfect. Thank you very much for the chat.
Thank you.
Later. Right then. Shall we try and find somebody else? I think I might be running out of willing people to interview now. How you doing? Oh, there we go. We can chat to David. How are you doing? We'll have a quick chat with yourself then.
Yeah.
So, this car's new for... Did you...
So I got it in 2020.
Yep.
It was a lockdown purchase. Rescued from a YouTuber.
Oh, right, okay.
Who'd finished with it. And I bought it over a video link.
Oh, right, okay. Didn't even go and see it?
No, I couldn't. It was
you did? Sorry,
it was lockdown. So it was bought on spec, and I spent all through sort of February, March, April rebuilding it.
Yeah.
And getting parts for it during lockdown was a nightmare, but especially tyres.
Yeah.
And it's had I rebuilt the suspension, brakes, wheels, tyres, but it's pretty standard otherwise.
Cool. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is based on a Lotus Elise.
So it's Lotus Elise chassis, but with a longer back end to take the Vauxhall 2-litre turbo from the Calibra.
Right. Okay.
So standard, it's 200 horsepower. I think it's been chipped to about 220, 230, but it's not heavily tuned.
But it's still just rear-wheel drive.
Yep, rear-wheel drive, 5-speed manual box, and it's really nice to drive.
Yeah.
Good fun.
How are you getting on in the class?
I'm running 4th at the moment in the class, and 4th in the Midland Championship at the moment in the class. So cool.
So do you find this kind of better than the previous vehicle?
Well, the previous vehicle was a white MX-5, which was had a 200 horsepower engine in it, but it was very peaky at the top end, and never seemed to be in the right gear. So this with a turbo, it's much better, much more flexible.
Yeah.
So you're not so worried about which gear you're in.
Yeah. So you're going to stay in this in the two-wheel drive road going class for?
Yeah, for the time being.
Cool. Any future modifications? You're going to do anything to it?
Tyres.
Yeah. Are you on the 888s at the moment?
Yeah.
888Rs.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about going to the Yokies?
Yokies, yeah. I think I'm going to the Yokies. I just got a quote that's like £300 a corner, which is quite steep.
Eye-watering, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's what all the top guys run, though, isn't it? I think. That's
a winter project and a bit of damage to fix from Prescott.
Oh no! What happened at Prescott?
Oh yeah, ran out of road at Ettores.
Oh, so only a short trip to the gravel trap then, was it?
Yeah, well it was a bit more than gravel because it hit the tyre wall.
Oh, it hit the rector cell at the back.
Yeah, which did a bit of damage, which is now gaffer taped together. So it's colour-coded gaffer tape to keep me going through the season.
Well, yeah, if you can fix it with gaffer tape, it's not that bad.
No. So
cool.
Yeah, it's done me proud.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for the chat.
Cheers.
See you in a bit.
Richard.
Right then. Who's my next victim? Oh,
Richard. My next victim.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got all 3 practice runs in today then? Have you? Yeah.
First one was a bit hairy.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. It was a bit cold. Was it?
Second one, legs came off. Got a bit leery and too hot into triangle and the top of Cedar. Spun at the top of Cedar.
Oh wow.
Went that way, then went that way, then carried on. But
Scandinavian flicked it just a bit too much.
No. It was a it was a complete spin. But this last run was good.
Yeah.
It's a second off of PB, but it's only practicing.
So, I mean, you've done a lot of work to this recently, haven't you?
The old girls are doing well.
Yeah. So have you a complete engine rebuild? Was it
only beginning of last year? Yeah. And gearbox.
Yeah.
The gearbox couldn't stand the additional torque, so it's doing all right.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about it? Because I say quite an old 911, but this is a 911 before when they were just called 911s, weren't they?
Not quite.
Isn't
no.
it? Or has it got?
No.
Has it got the?
This is a back date.
Oh right. Okay.
It's a 79 SC shell.
Yeah.
Which originally, when it was built as a toy, was a basic SC running gear and standard engine gearbox. And then I discovered hill climbing and the long, expensive road ahead. So over the years, it's all the suspensions polybushed. It's got Bilstein Club Sport dampers. It's got stiffy torsion bars. It's got adjustable roll bars. It's got you name it. And then we blew the engine up. My son buzzed it at Alton Park.
Was that racing or a track?
No, it's a track day. So that necessitated a rebuild. So we found some 100mm barrels and pistons, Marley Motorsport barrels and pistons. So that gave it 3.3 litres.
Wow.
So we then, while it was all in pieces, twin sparked it. What else? All the heads were all ported and polished and everything else. It's running on 46mm PMO throttle bodies and 270 brake.
Oh yeah, so
it's not.
It's quite nippy then, really.
Yeah,
because I mean, the car they don't weigh a great deal.
It's 1,015 kilos without me, but it's in road going class, so it's still got steel doors, steel wings, all glass,
all your interior.
And that's one of the nice things about running in the Midland, as opposed to running in the Porsche Championship.
Yeah.
In the Porsche Championship, it would be up against modified cars within the same power band.
Oh right, okay. So would you be against a modern GT3 or
no?
No, so you
in the power band.
So okay.
Up to 280 brake horsepower, but they've got a minimum weight of 1,050 kilos with the driver. Well, I'm 1,015 without the driver.
Right, okay.
So by the time you put me in, I'm nearly 1,100 kilos. So fighting for the same championship points.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me that.
Yeah.
So, but this is perfect. You know, we've got such an array of cars here.
Yep.
And today. 61 seconds, low 62.
Yeah.
So he's quite competitive.
Yeah.
On Phil as well, and he's GT4.
Yeah.
Again, 61 seconds. So it is quite.
Considering the massive spread with the class, they're all, very closely together.
Yeah. So it's good. Enjoy it.
Perfect. Cheers. Right. Thank you very much for the chat.
Cheers.
See you in a bit. We might as well go straight to Peter Herbert next, but he's next to us. So I was saying, there's how many Harewood instructors here today. There's 4 as Sarah informed me. I just thought it was you, James, and yourself. But he said Rich Spedding's also an instructor as well.
And so's Stephen Darley.
And Stephen Darley. So it's 5. It says 5 of you.
5 of us. Yeah. So some of the admin as well.
So do you want to chat to us about your 911? So the model number, because it's a 964.
It's a 1990 car, 3.6. I've had it 15 years. Originally German. Then came to England, then came to Northern Ireland, and then I bought it.
It's left-hand drive as well, isn't it?
Left-hand drive. It's done 10 seasons now, hill climbing with me, and it's been okay. I drive it everywhere. Drive it to Scotland, to Northern Ireland,
like I say,
all
you're
of the UK.
aren't you?
Yeah, it had a win at Craigantlett this year, so I was quite pleased with that. And it's going okay.
I mean, it looks great on the I say new wheels now, but you've had them
about 10 years. Yeah.
You really had them that long? I thought it had
maybe 7 years. I can't remember now. Yeah. But no, I just quite enjoy driving it, and I used to have a Westfield. I used to trail that everywhere. But now I quite enjoy just driving to and from events. It's quite easy, and it's good.
Yeah. Awesome. Cheers, Peter.
Okay.
We could see if there's anybody else available. So, Dave and Rob aren't here. I've already chat to Dave. Where's it? Is Mr. Kurt hiding, is he? No, I think, he's literally run away, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he's taken...
No, I'll tell you what, we'll go and have a chat with Ian and David, who'd rather... Are you happy for a chat, are you?
Sorry?
Happy for a chat?
Yeah, I'm okay for a chat.
I'm going to say, so...
Yeah. Brief delay.
So I say, both of you guys have been driving this Clio since I think when I started back in 2012, wasn't it?
A bit later than that. 2014.
2014.
Yes. Yeah. So not quite a decade. Yeah. And we're the slowest learners in the paddock.
Yeah.
But still improving. Yeah. And I was speaking to Chris Druitt a couple of weeks ago and explaining him how the road going class worked and about Clios. And at the end of it, he said, I always took you as being a bunch of young hooligans, but I actually see now that you're a bunch of old hooligans, which I think sums it up.
Yeah, I think a lot of time that we get with the road going class, they say, it's a good starter, but you've done other racing, haven't you? And then moved back into road going.
Yeah,
so
Ian's been in Reynolds for quite some time. I spent a decade in a Jedi single-seater, which is slicks and wings, and then to transfer from that to a road-going car, front-wheel drive, is very difficult. Yeah. But in fact, I'd say to drive these road-going cars on the limit is more difficult than the single-seater on the limit.
They're just heavier, the height's further, you've got no aero, you've got no slicks and stuff.
Well, lots of reasons. One is your front-wheel drive, so on the start lines, all the weight transfers to the back just when you need the grip on the front. So that's difficult to do. And like you said, the centre of gravity is far higher and softer suspension, so you get a lot more rock and roll. So there's a lot more weight transfer moving around between the wheels as you approach a corner, or in fact put any input into the car, whether it's braking or steering, and you've got to try and manage that. But if I learned anything from the single seat, just to listen to what the car's telling you, and control that weight transfer. Yeah. And it's certainly in the wet it pays dividends.
So I mean, you drive this to and from events, don't you, as well?
Yes, we do, Richard. And hence the stack of tires. Sorry, not implying anything about the person behind the microphone, but there's the road going class. The amount of modifications you're allowed, as you know, is probably more than people might think. But there comes a point where the car, although still road legal, is not pleasant to drive on the road. Yeah, so we've stopped with this car at the point where it was at least tolerable to drive 100 miles or so to get to meetings, and just accept the fact that we're not going to be class winners.
But as long as you're enjoying it, I mean, that's kind of the main.
That's the vital thing.
That's the first principle of coming here, is actually to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
The second one, as I mentioned, I've only ever shared somebody else's car, is don't crash. So that's the second.
Although I always think of the David Finley quote where he says, if you're enjoying it, you're not taking it seriously enough.
Well, it depends. If you enjoy near misses and being scared, then that's what it's part of what it's all about.
Yeah.
And the other thing I've learned as well is when you do a gaff and you like spin off or have a near miss, then although you might be embarrassed by it, it's actually very entertaining for the crowds.
Yeah.
So I always take solace when I've made a bit of a mess of something. At least the crowd had some fun at that point.
Yeah,
if I didn't.
That's the other great quote, isn't it? If you can't be fast, be entertaining.
Yeah. And what will people best remember you for, Richard? Will it be for the entertainment or the 50 seconds?
Both, hopefully. Yeah.
The PBs, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Records and things like that.
Some videos with exuberant excitement over the finish line.
Yes.
And I have learned another advantage of these road-going cars over the single-seaters is that when it rains, you've got a roof and windscreen wipers.
Yeah.
And it makes me very happy when I'm raining. When it's raining, I'm in that car.
Yeah. You've got heaters and in the winter and aircon in the.
We don't have the aircon.
Yours is a cup, isn't it? So
I took it out.
Is that illegal?
Chelsea was 37 degrees in the paddock and about 50 degrees inside the cockpit. No aircon. It's quite a challenge.
Single biggest mistake I made with that car was taking the aircon. It triggered global warming, I think. It's been hell ever since.
Cheers. Well, thanks very much for the chat. It's been good. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers, Richard.
Oh, Dave. You got a challenge for a quick chat? Go on, so Dave here is driving the Peugeot 205. How long have you had this now?
We've had this about 6 or 7 years now with Sheridan with my son, so Rob. So it must be 6 or 7 years.
You know Loton reasonably well?
Yes. Been coming here for 20 odd years.
You're also an instructor here, aren't you? As well?
Yes, for the Loton driving school.
And you highly recommend coming along to one of those if you haven't.
Absolutely wonderful day out. It's good fun for everybody. It's a proper school. It's good value for money. There's some huge experience among the instructors. You yourself are one as well, Richard.
Cheers, thank you.
And it's really good. Good lunch and
the lunch is the best bit almost.
It's a very good bit, and it's a really nice day.
So how are you finding driving the 205 at the moment? Is it?
It's completely different to the previous car, the Caterham, but and it's all Rob's ever driven is front wheel drive, so he's quite used to it. It takes me a bit longer to get used to it. And we're generally, at the top end of the class, which is good. It's good fun, but it's completely different to a rear-wheel drive car.
I mean, the thing with the 205 is it's lightness that aids really. It's not massive brake horsepower, is it at all?
It's only about 170, 175 brake, but it's probably only 850 kilos. So compared to the Renault Clios and the other sort of cars in the class, it's lighter but less powerful.
And I think a lot of people have mentioned this earlier. Lightness is the key, really, at hill climbs, isn't it?
It makes and this is a very competitive class as well, as all the classes are. But although they're slower in elapsed time, the competition is just as much. Good. Thank you, Richard. Have a good day. Cheers.
Right, have we got any more questions? Sports Libra. Where do we need to go? What? You need to give you a clue. So you've got the TV. I don't just want to stick a microphone in anybody's faces lining up, because I don't think that's very fair. Except for one person, Alan, because he won't mind. So Alan McDonald's Evo Mini is Hi, Grace is running away. You right for a quick chat, Alan? So this is one of the most impressive Sports Libra cars you'll ever see. It's just completely handmade, isn't it, by yourself? Is it? Yeah.
I think I had broken hands at the time, I think.
But you do absolutely everything on this, don't you? You built it from the ground up. Every single thing on it you do. Engine builds, transmission, building the shell, any repairs on it?
Yeah. Didn't do the gearbox. Everything else.
Yeah. So, how did you first get into hill climbing?
Just a friend just said, "Do you want to do a hill climb at Scarborough?"
Yeah.
I said, "I'll do that." And I didn't have a clue what it was.
Yeah.
So, then off I went. So we'll go with that.
So, how are you doing so far this weekend in practice?
Got some minor mechanical issues.
Is it still from the similar ones at Prescott, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some excess. It's got a bit too much boost, and I'm struggling to get it down a bit.
You're getting run over by Mark to score there.
By the end of the weekend, it'll go fine.
Yeah.
It usually does.
So practice now and see how it goes. Yeah, you're gonna give it everything, or just
yep.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Absolutely. Cool.
That's the plan.
See you then. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Okay. See that.
There's where we go. Jock Ramsey's on the way back as well, so we can have a chat with him in a minute. Oh. Somebody else to have a quick lie. He was trying to avoid me. How you doing, Pete? So.
Sorry, there's someone coming into that one.
Oh.
Do you need help with pushing it?
Hang on.
Sorry.
Hey, we'll try and have a chat with Pete in a sec. He's just.
Going in there as well.
What's that? That's all right. So we'll just have a quick chat. I say you probably have one of the most hilarious things after a finish of a run ever. So for anybody who doesn't know, your car burst into flames after the finish line at Prescott, didn't it? Your OMS 28.
It actually burst into flames on the run.
Oh, right.
So it was on the run. It didn't burst into flames on the run. It was an electrical fire, and then that melted the hydraulic cables, we think. And then went round the service road, and it burst into flames. it was dramatic.
It was very dramatic, wasn't it?
It was a very expensive photo I've obtained. I've got one photograph of it, and it is.
The flames are about 20 foot in the air, aren't they? I mean, no exaggeration.
No exaggeration. Yeah, you feel free. Have a look at the photo if you're not sure. But it went up.
Yeah. But so you're currently dual driving with your brother. How are you finding that?
You have to be a bit careful, don't you? It's not my car. He's watching me with intent. I got much more confident in Harewood, and then span it on the last run, and the evil eyes were glaring at me, so I'm having to refrain. So no, it's brilliant to get a drive, but it's not quite the same as when you're in your own car. But it's been real fun going back into 1100 after having the supercharged tyre booster, and so you have to drive in a different way, and you just rag it and chuck it in and hope it goes round.
But you'll be back out next year in the 28 supercharged.
It'll be a new car, so we had to write off the old one. It could have been fixed, but it wasn't worth it in the end. And so Steve's building new car, tubs out. Quite a lot of the work's been done, and we're hoping to get it ready maybe Christmas-ish, maybe early New Year. And then
we were just chatting to Steve earlier. He said he's built 200 cars now. So is yours number 200? Is it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a look at the plate number. So it's exciting, and it's slightly exciting, nerve-wracking because it's not something you budget on or plan for, and you mentally think, you could crash, you can take off a corner, you could do this, you could do that, but you don't think actually your car could just go up in flames and disappear on you, and you lose everything. So it was a bit of a eye-opener, and
quite emotional, wasn't it?
Later, funny enough, because I jumped in and I shared with my brother in this straight after it went up in flames. That because it was only practice, they let me compete in Dave's car, and then we had a wishbone, one of the joints broke, and we had a wheel come off on the very next run. So
you thought you were jinxed?
Yeah, a little bit, and then got through the weekend, and it was probably only Monday where it suddenly dawned on me. I was driving to work, and suddenly it dawned on me what had happened, and it was a little shocking, but these things happen, and it's, the marshals were amazing. The competitors were amazing. Everyone ran up and did their bit. Everyone was like, get out of the car, and I was like, well, I'm not sure you're going to want this running through the paddock on flames, so I got stuck in there a little bit longer than I wanted, but it all worked out, and everyone sprung forward and did their bit to make it safe, so it was no damage to me. New overalls needed.
Yeah, just
well, just because they were burnt rather than anything.
not rather than changing the pants.
No, the pants. I was remarkably calm actually, sitting in the car, because I knew I was in a sort of semi-safe environment, but I just didn't want it going like a towering inferno through the paddock on fire. So took a little bit of time to get chocks and whatever, and fire extinguishers. But 14 fire extinguishers later, it was out. So
at least you're not giving the bill for that.
No, and thankfully I escaped before they had the thought of that. So.
Cool. Well, good luck on your next run.
Yeah, I'll keep it on the black stuff. Is the plan.
Awesome.
All right. Cheers. See ya.
Where next? I'm getting a shrug from my producer now. Just looking, going, no questions. We've still got lots of people watching, and nobody wants to ask a question. No. Okay then. Well, that's fair enough. Did Jock run? I had a fatal error there of letting him. I don't think he wanted a chat. Bill. Oh no, Bill's having none of it. So you can just do a shot of him and tell it. So Bill is a legend in the hill climbing scenes. He's been around a very long time and runs the Midland Hill Climb Championship. Yeah. You sure you don't want to chat, Bill? Okay. No. Okay, then there's. To be fair, some people don't want to chat, which is fair enough. Oh, I'll tell you who we can have a chat with. Paul, our clerk of the course. How are you doing?
All right.
So how's the meeting going?
It's been a little challenging and a bit slow at times, but we are getting there now, and we've only got probably about an hour and a quarter to go now.
So what's it like clerking at Loton then? Is it?
Well, I travel from Maidstone to do it for every meeting, so that probably answers that question.
So you love it then? Isn't it? Are you trying to find somebody in particular? Are you? Has somebody done a bad thing?
No, I need Bill Pardo.
He's just over there. He refused to chat to us, so yeah, feel free to chastise him about that.
Chastise him on the back.
Cheers, Paul. Now. Sam Walker, Chief Marshal.
You'd find me at something.
Yeah, I know. You were trying to avoid it, MS UK, safety... What's
training officer.
Safety training officer, yeah. So you're like in the upper echelons of MS UK.
Oh, we've also got Sue Sanders, who's director of the department. She's here as an event steward, and James Betchley, who's technically my manager. He's on rescue just over there. So it's a bit of a team outing.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, I mean, you've been around hill climbing pretty much your entire life, haven't you?
Yeah, I think my mum was pregnant with me at Shelsley, like in 1998. Sorry to make you feel old, Rich.
I just left school then, so that's...
Well, it's kind of... I don't know what else I'd be doing with my life, to be honest. You'd be twiddling your thumbs at home, you know. Well, it's sure the same with you guys as well, really.
So this you're Chief Marshal this weekend, and this is your final event as a Chief Marshal, isn't it?
Yeah, decided the time's right to hand the baton to someone else, really. I'm doing my clerk's training, so watch out.
So you're going to be another Paul or an Anna?
Yeah, it's the man I aspire to be.
Yeah.
As he stood over there looking at us. It's also useful for what I do with my job as well, because the training programs that Motorsport UK deliver constantly need updating, and obviously the sport is progressing a lot quicker than I think perhaps many people realise, and the training for officials and marshals needs to catch up with that. So part of what I'm doing with my work is doing the clerk's training, so I know how to fix the problems that exist in speed and hopefully move things forward a little bit.
So what's it like though, being on the other side of being a marshal? You get an incredible view of the track, don't you, most of the time, and but it's a completely different world to driving a car to be in.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there's a reason why on driving school days marshals often get asked to give points on drivers when they're going around a corner, because when you're a driver you attack the course maybe 4 times over a weekend, maybe 5, 6, but a marshal will see 300-400 runs on the same corner, and very quickly you realise what line works for drivers, what line doesn't work, and obviously when it doesn't work, that's when marshals are needed to help clear up whatever's left behind or move the car out of the way. So yeah, it's totally different perspective, and if you're spectating or you're interested about becoming a marshal, it's definitely worthwhile. Just come for a day, and if you want to come here you can contact me or Jamie Mould, but likewise as all venues across the UK will happily take you with open arms. It's a totally different experience. There's camaraderie really between everyone that's here this weekend. There's a good team of us. Being a British meeting, there's a good turnout, and the training is you can do as much theory as you want on PowerPoints beforehand, but actually the real learning happens when you're in an event like this and you're on your feet, you're watching the cars go by, you deal with instances as they happen. So yeah, you can just come along and we'll sort you out.
Marshalling is completely voluntary, isn't it? But you just can't run an event without marshals.
No, and it's the same for all licensed officials that are here this weekend. Every single official is voluntary, including all the marshals. And really it's the bits that a lot of people don't see, is the pre-event preparation, weeks and weeks in advance, even months in advance. We were planning this meeting, all of us. And then when we're on the day, there's all the procedures that happen over the radio, and we're all volunteers, but it kind of works like clockwork. You'd imagine we've done it for a while. It eventually falls into place. It's a big team effort, but
it's a super exciting job to do at the same time, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it always comes with its challenges as well, though. I mean, you can't really predict. You can say you've got 140 cars competing at a weekend. Some weekends it can be absolutely flawless, no one will go off, nothing will happen, happy days. But then sometimes you can have an absolute baptism of fire and everything can go wrong. And it's all about resource management, and also just making sure everything happens as quickly but as safely as possible. Ultimately all of us as the officials are primarily looking out for the safety of everyone, including ourselves and the drivers and even the spectators. So when something does happen, we just try and deal with it as quickly but as sort of prudently as possible, taking all the precautions as well at the same time.
There's no age range really, is there? What's the youngest you can become a marshal at?
Well, strictly it's 11. So actually our two of our paddock marshals here today are cadets. There's one of them, it's Ben. So they've been a sort of pet project. I've been training them up all year to run paddock here, and they're doing
a very
really
hard
good
job, isn't it, as well? To paddock.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's 170 drivers here, and the paddocks are busy places at the best of time. They do a brilliant job, and we've always had quite a cohort of cadets anyway. So if you're young and want to get involved, there is definitely jobs for you to do. You can be down here in the bottom paddock, or at the very top paddock. You'll probably see tomorrow on the live stream where all the cars stop after their run. We've got cadets up there as well this weekend. So pretty much anyone above the age of 11 in good health will take you on.
So there's no upper age range, like you said, as long as you're in good health.
As long as you're in good health, and even if you have a disability, we can accommodate for that. There will be something for you to do, whether that's more administrative role or even just observing. We can find a place for you somewhere.
Very inclusive.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we're all volunteers at the end of the day, and we do it for the love of it. So, yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks. No problem. I'm going to carry on strutting around and looking important.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. We're nearly we're halfway through third practice, so I should imagine we've got
on the 1100s now.
Yeah, 4 more batches. Then it's end of the day.
Yeah, we can all go and enjoy nice hog roast. Yeah, sure.
See you there.
See you in a bit. All right, let's get. Still no more questions. I can't believe nobody wants to ask a question. Anybody? How many people are watching?
Some.
Have they just left it running in the background while they've gone and had a bath or something?
Slightly difficult with communications at the moment. There are some people watching. We
okay then. I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of cars and not a lot of people now. So it's trying to see who else we could chat to. I definitely wanted to have a chat with Mr. Kerr, but I think he's got wind of it. I know. Should we have a stroll up to Triangle and see if there's anybody sitting around in the paddock? Yeah, top. Oh, here we go. There's the British Hill Climb Championship coordinator, Tim Wilson, who's just clocked me and now he's looking into the distance pretending he hasn't seen me. Now he's trying to run away. What is it with championship coordinators? I don't want to chat. This is, if he's not going to chat, we had to point the camera at him anyway. This is very informal. We just wanted a quick chat. So this is Tim Wilson. He runs the entire British Hill Climb Championship along with his wife Jackie. So how are you finding it in general? You know, how stressful is this job?
Oh, it's not very stressful at all. No, you can I think this weekend will be. There's a lot of pressure on us. I feel tomorrow because there's so much at stake. You know, there's so many drivers within a few points of each other, and we need to be in a position by the end of the day to decide fairly quickly what the placings are. Yeah. And so yeah, we do feel pressure, but that's part of the responsibility of running the championship, part of the joy. Yeah.
Then next year it'll be a Masters year again, won't it? So
it will.
Does that add even more complexities to?
Well, no, we've run that a few times now, so I think we know what we're doing with that. We don't know yet where the Masters will be held, but I mean that adds a bit of interest. And the Masters has been great for the championship in getting a lot of tin top drivers and people realising that they don't need to be in a top flight single seater to compete in Europe. They can be in any of the classes, so we're looking forward to that.
It's absolutely fantastic as well. The Masters is just the actual pinnacle, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's just another level of amazing when it comes to racing.
It is. You can see that every year. That from the first year when there were just a few people went, the last couple of years we've just been inundated with virtually all the drivers who've qualified have actually gone. Because even though it's not a cheap trip, it's an event of a lifetime.
You
really,
absolutely do, regardless of how much it costs. It's almost
it is almost like that. Yes, yeah.
Cool. So, do you have like a downtime over the winter, or do you just go straight into like planning for the next season?
Well, straight after this, we'll be planning for the Masters. We'll be firming up the regs for next year. The calendar is due to go out this weekend. We've just held that back a little bit. Basically, it'll be the same as the current year, just a couple of changes.
Coming back to Loton twice.
We're coming back here twice.
Yep.
And the format of the events, we've tried to get all the venues running the same format, where we have 3 runs on Saturday and 3 runs on Sunday, so that everybody gets everybody has the same sort of format.
Yeah, it's a really good way to go.
And then we've got the awards dinner straight after Christmas, so we'll have
good.
Yeah, plenty to keep us busy.
Yeah. And what's your view on the live streaming?
I think the live stream is brilliant. Yeah. That's certainly added a lot to the championship and to the events. And we're keen to work with the people who do the live streaming to put that on throughout next year. The selected events, we've got people who are willing to support that financially, and we'd love to do that with the team who run the live streaming.
Perfect, that's great. Cheers, Tim. Thank you very much for the chat.
Cheers.
See you later. Right then, let's have a little stroll up into the. There's Sarah again. Say hi, Sarah. I'm Mick.
You flick it into that's not there.
Oh, we got a question.
The question is, how do you get started in hill climbing?
Oh wow! I mean, that is quite a broad question, though. It's you can take literally any car you own, and you can find a class for it. Road going is probably the easiest way because you can drive it to and from events. It's very little preparation you need. There is a standard road going class, totally standard, but not all clubs support that. And then there's a road going class, which we chatted to a few drivers earlier on. You realistically, to take your car, you need to put an ignition on and off switch wherever the key is. If you push button or a key, you need to put some yellow tape around the negative on the battery cable, and put a tow bar front and rear. So generally most cars fit with those. Just screw them in, and 2 little stickers pointing to where they are, and that's it. You can turn up at an event, run with a you just need to obviously wear your PPE, which John's pointing at his head. I wonder what he's talking about. So yeah, you need a helmet to a Schnell standard, a no-mix race suit, gloves, and that's about it. If you wanted to go in, some of the classes require a little bit more. You might need to wear a hands device, have harnesses and certain certificated seats in the bigger classes. But if you're just driving a road going Clark, you just need a suit, a helmet and gloves. You can wear trainers if you want to, but a lot of people go for racing shoes as well because they're nice and narrow and you don't catch them on the pedals. But yeah, other than that, you can apply for a licence on MS UK. You can do it online, completely online. You ideally need to join a club, Loton Park for one. I think it's £55 for a single yearly, which I'll plug massively. Probably the cheapest in the entire country, I think. And then you can join a championship, or you don't have to, but you can do it. It generally helps. Make sure you get entries. You can join different types of classes with different types of championships in them. And it just depends massively, really, on what car you're going to join in, depending on which class it goes into. But then championships are very broad. The Midland and the British are obviously great. They're national. You move along, but you'll do local ones that just do rounds at certain events. Maybe if you're down south, you could just do a Wiscombe Championship. In the Midlands, you could just do a Loton, a Shelsley, or a Prescott one. There's so many options, but generally, if you want to find your local nearest hill, I think pretty much every hill in the UK has a website. If you just Google it, have a look, see what it's like, have a chat with their entry secretary, comp secretary, or come to an event. That's another great thing to do. Just come along, have a chat with people. Everybody, as you can see, hopefully most people will talk to you, and I think. Watch stuff on the live stream as well. It gives you a much better idea for what's going on. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it all. Any other questions, John? No? Okay, good. Let's have it.
Yeah, I'm a saloon guy, so between the two of you, pretty much covered. You're racing cars, these fellas. Yeah. Love, and I do love these from Westfield. I would love to drive a car. Ashley,
Come on, Ollie, have a quick chat. So we've got Ollie Wright and James Hudson. You have a quick chat as well. So James runs the Red Golf, which we've done lots of videos of down there, but you haven't actually been there every time. So your Red Golf. Yeah. So how long have you been hill climbing in the Golf?
About 9 years. Yeah. It started out as just a standard 8-valve GTI, and it's slowly progressed up to what it is today. Yeah. But the reason it's red is because I put it on its roof a couple of years ago. So
Martini at Wiscombe, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
I remember it,
It was an uneventful rollover, but yeah. So it looks in not nicer condition than it did do. So yeah, try and keep it that way.
Are you liking Loton?
I'm loving it. Actually, this is cracking. I really like this. It's got a bit of everything. Same as Wiscombe sort of thing. It's great. A bit of me.
Yeah. So you're going to come a few more times next year's season as well.
Yeah, I'd try to.
Yeah. What events are you going to do next year? You're going to do like?
I'll do British stuff again probably. Stick with that for a couple of years, and then I'll think about doing something else whilst I'm there. Really, that's about it.
Fantastic. So I'll go over to Ollie because we chatted to Anna earlier. Your excuse was you got to push her back into the paddock. I'm sure, but you're lying because I can see the back of the car right there. So you've driven a few. Say we used to drive together with your 106. And
Yeah.
Right on the edge of absolute adhesion.
Trying to catch you.
But now you've moved, say, a couple of times at Q Cars, but you're really happy with the Radical.
Yeah, no, I am, Fisher Fuel we had start of the year. Kept breaking.
Yeah.
So then, still got that if anyone wants to buy it. And
how much?
£8,000.
There we go.
Call me. And then, we got the Radical. And it's good, I think we're first and second in the British.
So that's up to 2 litre specially.
Libra, yeah. So, no, it's good. It's good.
So how you going to stay with this, or I know you like your Mark II Escorts, don't you really? So.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But I definitely want to get Anna in a single-seater for sure.
Yeah.
About me, I don't know, but definitely, we're not going anywhere anyway.
Yeah. So how long have you been hill climbing altogether now?
6 years. Flat out 6 years as well. So I might be due a little bit of a break for a year and then come back stronger, I think.
What are you going to do next year in the Radical, are you?
I don't know if it's going to
We'll see. We'll see.
Cheers, thanks
nice
for
one.
Over me. I can also feel.
I think it's got a bit quiet up here now.
I had a woolly hat with a pom-pom. Yeah, it's definitely pom-pom weather. But listen, car number 87, Jim Spencer, is just going by. Is he now?
Oh, yeah.
He's going by. He's from Market Street. He's only come from just up the road.
Is there,
That's the Reynard 883. That's the one.
We can have a quickly look at the. This is the regalia hut, by the way. If anybody wants to buy any, if you're on the live stream and you're living miles away, probably not the best. But it's the. Yep. If you're coming tomorrow and you're going to be here because you've watched it on the live stream and you're so amazed and you want to come here for real.
Loads of bargains. T-shirts from £8, hoodies 15.
Yeah.
Bargainous jackets only £35. Fleeces at 15. So everything's on sale.
Yeah.
Everything has to go.
You've got umbrellas, but hopefully we won't need any.
No, we're not.
But if you need them for future, they're also for sale, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, mugs, everything.
Mugs, everything. Perfect. So if you're coming here tomorrow, come pop into the regalia. Come and see the regalia hut. Cool.
Thank you. Work over the engine. And the yellow one, he's just gone round
Where should we go now?
straight now. Previous car, Jim Spencer, was 99
Are we
straight, by the way.
So, yeah, I mean,
Right, yeah.
I think that's it then.
Harry
Ladies and gentlemen, it is.
And he will be followed by Tom Weaver in the M1.
That's Tom as well. We spoke to earlier. As you can see, he's not exactly slow. He's really pedalling that. So our quality commentary crew you can hear in the background.
Right, here we go. Across the line we go. 54.
Right then, I mean, we could stroll back down.
Yeah, well, let's have a look for Tom Weaver. 106 up the straight. Here we go. Here we go. 48.53. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Harry takes 40 as well. Thanks, Dr. Harry.
Oh, Andy, yes, Andy. How are you doing?
All right, thank you.
You're going to just... so you're driving the Force PT, aren't you, the 1600? So you've come all the way from
Guernsey.
From Guernsey, yeah. So that's how long did it take you to get here?
Too long. We were unlucky, and the boat is doing the freight run, so we had to start at 4 o'clock in the morning Thursday on the boat. Then we went to Jersey, and eventually got here. So there we go. I'm pleased we got here.
But you've done it because you love Loton so much.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Just the first time you've been here this year?
Yes, well, this is the only one I've done this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but there we are. I had a shoulder injury a couple of years ago, so that put me back a bit.
Yeah.
But that's all sorted, so I'll have a go tomorrow. I think I've sorted the car out. We'll see.
How are you doing in the class?
Not very well because I've had a problem, but it looks like we found it.
Oh, okay, cool. So
let's hope so.
Yeah. So you did all your 3 practice runs, or?
No, I'm just waiting to go.
Oh, you're going to do your last one now? Okay, cool.
Hope it doesn't rain because it looks a bit dodgy.
It's a bit ominous now, isn't it? Your temperature's dropped a bit. But,
absolutely.
Cool. Well, good luck on your next run then. I hope you sorted it all out. Cheers. It has gone a bit murky overhead. I think. Yeah, I'm yes. Been told my producer to wrap this up, and I think it's bearing in mind everyone looks like they've pretty much gone home. Most of the road going Paddock are all packed up, and it's only got a couple of runs left. So hopefully, come back tomorrow, watch the live stream. It'll be much more interesting than listening to me waffle on. But come and watch the cars. It'll be awesome. If you want to come along, even better. Come along to the gate. You can pay on the day. Plenty of room available, and there's loads of great spaces to watch.
Much better atmosphere if you're here in person.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, the live stream is absolutely brilliant, and if you have no choice, it's great to watch, but the atmosphere here is amazing, and it's going to be the absolute down to the last run of the last day of the last car, probably. So, yeah, please come along if you can. If not, watch us on the live stream. We'll see you next time.